Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Show.
You're muted.
You guys are muted.
You're muted. I can't hear you.
Welcome to the Vital MX MotoXpod show, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Well, guys, it's here. A1 week. Round one is just 4 days away. 4 days until the first gate drop of the 2025 Super Motocross season, and I can't freaking wait. Our guests tonight are Director of Public Relations for Supercross, Sean Brennen, and Red Bull KTM Factory Racing Supercross Rookie of the Year, Julien Beaumer. It should be a fun show. We got lots of stuff to talk about. We'll talk about Arena Cross, rounds 5 and 6. We're going to talk about A1. Got a bunch of segments to get into. Lots of fun stuff. Let's start this thing by introducing everybody for the Race Tech discussion in studio. We've got a full house tonight. Working the cameras, Scotty Thompson.
Yeah, full house, new A1 week. It's a beautiful time of the year. I'm really excited for this season.
I am too. I feel like I should be in California right now. All my memories are popping up from last year at being there, and yeah, should be there, but we'll leave it next week, heading to San Diego. So also in studio, TJ Smith. What's going on, TJ?
Just grinding, just being here every week, getting here early.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Putting the work in, bro. Putting the work in.
Glad you didn't slide off the side of the highway driving back from Colorado.
Right.
Also in studio from 710 Designs, Chase Moore. What's going on, Chase?
What's going on, man? Glad to be back. Glad my life has purpose on the weekends again with Supercross coming back.
For sure. I feel the same way. I feel like things are about to get really busy, and I'm here for it. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot going on. But we got a couple things to start the show off. For the intro, we're gonna do a little A1 talk, and then here in a little bit, we're gonna get Vital MX's Michael Lindsay on the phone to talk about Vital MX Fantasy. If you guys are not signed up yet, go to vitalmx.com, sign up for Fantasy, get into the MotoXpod League. I signed up today, and it's all new. So if you're signed up last year, I think you have to sign up again. So right now, as I looked a little bit ago, I'm the only member, so I could win our league. But
maybe.
Let's get into this. Yeah, I still could lose. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company, and they have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. For nearly 40 years, Racetech has been supplying the motorcycle industry with high-quality suspension components made right here in the USA. From modern to vintage, Racetech is your go-to source for suspension performance. Racetech.com, find your local service center, get to know your local service tech. You need your suspension service, you need it resprung, revalved, they can help you out. Racetech.com. All right, A1, let's start with this. What are you guys most excited about for A1? I'll let you go first, Chase, since you're sitting right in front of me.
Probably Fortner coming back after injury last year. He's had a whole bunch going on. New bike, new team, new everything.
Brain surgery.
Yeah, brain surgery, all that. Like, I'm excited to see if he can get back to where he was when he left off, because he looked really good when he crashed at Arlington.
Say that again.
Before he crashed, not when he crashed.
No, like up and come on now.
I know what you meant. Scotty's an idiot.
Yeah. I've never
acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
Hey,
y'all would never take anybody's words literal and berate them with it. Y'all would never do that.
Never.
Yeah. And
why are you being a butthole? Just go.
Anyway, so
gosh, what his problem is?
What am I? Are you gonna get on to me if I take 30 seconds to say this? 45.
I don't know. It's taking longer than that.
Might. 30 seconds.
What I'm excited about is I don't want to say asterisk was on last year, but there was some things that were at play. You know, Tomac was coming back from the injury. Cooper Webb was on the new bike. Sexton was on a new bike. It was unknown of what Jet was going to really do. I feel they all like have a gauge of what that's going to be now. So I'm most excited to see just some good race win battles. I think that they're going to all have caught up to what Jet did last year a little bit, and I just really am excited to see if they have an answer for what he's able to do, because he's going to do it again. So I'm excited for that.
Do you think anybody will have an answer for Jet and will catch up and will battle?
King of wishful thinking, yes.
Okay.
Like I want to say yes. Would I put a bunch of money on it? Probably not. Speaking of that, some of the bets that I saw, like odds for the bets. If I don't really do that much, but
I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't think you guys
the Ken Roxon numbers looked good. I would, because he could do it. He could come out and win A1. That's such a Kenny thing to do. Him and Barsha's odds were pretty nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say Barsha did it like 4 years. Well, the 1 year,
3 years in a row,
Houston, but yeah.
TJ, what are you most excited about?
Watching Jet dominate.
So
That's it.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm excited for that.
I'm actually excited. I mean, how do you not get excited when you get to watch one of the best riders in the world just like do what he does?
Probably the best, but yeah.
I just like how with like 3 words, like the whole point I just made, he just wiped his ass with it in 5 seconds.
I'm pretty excited to see if Sexton's liking the KTM more this year and see how that goes, because he's the biggest question mark I think going into this.
He's the biggest one?
Where he's at, I mean, he's the one, like, raw speed-wise, he could do it, but...
Well, who'd you say?
Sexton,
yeah.
Yeah, for me, those are pretty obvious ones. I'm excited to see Eli Tomac hopefully be back to 100%. It's his last season. Does he have something to prove? Does he want to go out on top? How much of an impact will he have? But the ones that I kind of made note of are Jason Anderson, final year in Kawasaki. We're hearing that he wants to stay at Kawasaki, so that means you're going to have to show something.
Yeah.
But, can he run with those top guys? He was 5th overall last year. No wins, 4 podiums, 11 top 5s for Jason. So what's he going to do to say, hey, I want to keep this ride? Don't give my ride to, say, Chase Sexton, whose contract will be up after this year, maybe might be looking somewhere else, et cetera. He's going to have to, if he wants that ride, he's going to have to really fight for it. So I'm excited to see if we can get Jason Anderson of old back. And then, of course, in the 250 class,
that's what I was about to go to.
The Hayden Deegan, Levi Kitchen, Austin Faulkner battle. That's going to be good. And then, honestly, like
Hayden Deegan on the West Coast, it was. I mean, he's never done that before.
Right.
So
Beaumer, who we'll have on later, is going to be West Coast. They say he's flying.
He looked really good at the end of the year last year at SMX.
So I'm very excited to see, kind of like the Jet thing. Oh, Jet's going to dominate. Well, everybody thinks this is Hayden's championship. I'm not ready to say that yet. So I want these guys to step up and say, no, hell no, it isn't his championship. We're going to fight for it.
Hell no.
So that's what I'm waiting on. And Prado. I want to see what Prado's going to do.
I don't think, like, if he gets some top 5s and he's consistently around 5 to 8, I think that's a win for him. Because coming into the premier class, never doing Supercross other than the couple last year, it's going to be a tall order. I look for him to be challenging for the championship outdoors, but it's going to take, I've had a couple friends tell me that he's going to be good and he'll be maybe up in the top, battling for podiums. I'm like, maybe at the end of this season. Maybe at the end of this season.
Conditions are muddy.
Mud race,
a
something
couple
like
guys
that.
go down, but consistently, I don't see him doing that. But I want to see what he does.
Yeah,
I mean, what he can do.
We know he's a good starter.
Yeah,
it's changing bikes, so it might hinder that a little bit, but starts kind of carry over no matter what bike you're on. It's confidence and knowing that you can do it. So he'll get up there, he'll be up front, and I'm sure we'll see what he can do pretty quickly.
To me, that's such a subplot. I'll be curious to how. I want to check back into that week 7, week 8, see how he's doing.
Yeah.
But and I hope that the broadcast. We can ask. I guess we can ask Sean. I mean, he doesn't really have any control of the broadcast, but is that gonna be all we hear of is about Prado? Is that going to be the one?
I think the Lawrence brothers is all we're going to hear about.
Yeah, that's true.
Lawrence's Deegan.
Yeah. All right, next question. Who will leave A1 disappointed? I've got an answer kind of locked in that I thought of, because all these guys go in, most of them anyway, are I'm going to win. I'm going to podium. I'm going to be better than last year. I think, and I hate saying this, I love the guy. I'm a big fan, but I think Malcolm Stewart leaves disappointed because I think he expects to probably be top 5 or 6, and I don't know that he will be.
That's a good pick.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
TJ's going to say the field because Jet's going to dominate.
Probably AP off the year he had last year. I mean, I expect him to do well this season too, but everybody's healthy, bunch of changes, like new people, new riders on new bikes. Like he's gonna have to fight. And I hope he does because I really like the dude. But
yeah, AP got a win, 3 podiums and 7 top 5s last year. Finished 11th because of the injury.
Right.
But not a bad year minus the injury, obviously.
Considering, and then he was awesome outdoors.
Yeah.
He was always up front.
But I agree that
I
I
hate
don't
saying
know
it,
that he'll meet where his goals are right off the bat.
Probably not.
We're starting the season, as we always say, with a stacked freaking field. It's going to be tough.
And everybody's healthy too.
Yeah.
Like there hasn't been any real injuries that we've heard of, I guess.
Yeah, there's a couple rumors about one rider in particular, but not bad. Just, but not 100%. But
what rider?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's going to bring it up, but then not say it.
It's a rumor, and I don't know if it's true. Scotty,
I think that Hunter leaves disappointed.
Okay. Meaning what with him? Because
I think he's going to come
what do you
in
think
thinking
he expects. Where do you think he finishes?
I think he's going to expect to come in and finish 2nd or 3rd behind Jet.
Oh wow!
And I don't think that's going to be what happens.
Yeah.
I think
I wonder if that's what he feels.
I would say
I don't think it'll happen.
I would say that I'm wrong if he gets top 5. If he top 5s, I'm wrong. But if he's like 9th or 10th, I think he's going to be. I think I'm.
If he's 9th or 10th for sure.
He did have a super rough A1.
I can see him 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He may do better than we were thinking too, because he had such a bad A1 last year with not even qualifying. So he's got something to prove. He's pissed off about it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We're all falling into the trap that everybody always falls into every year. That A1's always wacky, and it's gonna never be what we think it's gonna be. So. It's like, who knows?
But I don't think I'm falling into that trap. I don't think anything's gonna be wacky. Like
But it will be. It always
something always happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is gonna. I'm set for it just to be a normal race.
Round 4 will be.
I actually had a question. Let him do his point, then I have a question.
Okay.
Like I think, honestly, I mean, y'all said some good ones, but it's probably going to be Mookie, unfortunately, just because, like he's. I mean. The dude puts everything forward. I don't think it'll be like he'll come in thinking he's going to win or anything like that. It's just seems like when it rains, it pours on that dude.
I honestly kind of was thinking it might be just wishful thinking that he might come in and do better than expected.
Do y'all say that he's going to come in and just not have the speed and be running like 8th or 9th, or do you think or you see he's going to be disappointed where he comes in and he starts 4th and then makes a pass into 2nd and then cartwheels and then disappointed?
No, I say he's going to finish 8th to maybe 6th to 8th, somewhere around there.
Malcolm is up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and I think that's a good place for him. I think he wants to be more is what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that things are going to go wrong for him. I just think that hashtag deep field. You start naming the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All it's going to take is just a little bit off.
Yeah.
And those guys, it's going to be really easy for guys that we think that are going to be top 5 all the time to be 11th.
Yeah, 13th,
it can happen just like
because,
that.
The top, the difference between, you're going to have Jet, who is miles ahead of everybody, and then everybody else is going to be millimeters apart.
The times are so close now.
I'm looking at these, I'm looking at the results from last year. I don't think Jet's going to be miles. He wasn't miles ahead last year.
So you're
saying his rookie 450 season too,
you're saying
though.
his very first 450 Supercross, AMA Supercross, he wasn't miles ahead yet?
I mean, he did, but he won 9 times. For a rookie 450.
He's got 8 wins.
It was at 8. I thought it was 9.
So y'all don't think that the rest of there was some things that were inhibiting the rest of the field last year, and they'll be better?
Yeah, there was injuries. There was all kinds of stuff.
That's why I don't think he's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot tighter.
I'd like to bring this out.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be miles ahead like TJ does.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody goes into practice at Supercross. I've seen this with, plenty of riders. They do their first qualifying at Supercross or wherever, and they're like a half a second off to where, they want to be in the lineup. And they're like, all I got to do is make up a half a second. But you don't. You have to make up a half a second plus whatever everybody else is going.
Yeah,
and that's
maybe a full second.
And that's the thing. Everybody's going to get faster. I believe that everybody's game will go up, but Jet's game's going to go up too.
Mm-hmm.
They did I think he took some time off a little bit, and then they went to Motocross of Nations, Bercy, or Paris, whatever you want to call it. So I think they're going to be kind of in that new bike too.
Yeah, he's still struggling with that bike.
Yeah, he's
all accounts he's still struggling.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to come in just miles ahead at the beginning, but I know that they're not where they want to be with the bike.
So if he's struggling with it and he comes in and dominates,
it's going to be a bad.
Does everybody else just quit? Not
like you said, the rest of the field will be disappointed, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think I can see Jet winning, but I don't think it's. I think these guys are. This is going to be a battle all year.
Jet's still the metric that everybody's gauging himself off.
Okay, a hot take. If Jet doesn't start first top 3, he doesn't win A1.
That's a hot take.
Okay, we got to get ML on. He's on the hold right now from Vital MX. So let's
on the hold.
Let him join. What's up, ML?
Oh, not much. Just running some errands. How about yourself?
Oh, we're just doing a podcast. Talking about A1 and who's going to be disappointed and who's going to be a surprise and all that good stuff.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Put in all this work all off season, think you're going to show up at A1 and be great, then you're not.
I think there's going to be a few like that, but I just feel like there's going to be some surprises. I think the gap between Jet and the other guys, that these guys seem as huge. They get either guys in studio. I think it's going to be a lot tighter this season. I don't think Jet's just going to walk away and dominate like a few people seem to think.
2 people. I'm on your side with that.
No, I don't think so. Me and Lou's previous show both. Jet is amazing. I think the biggest thing is one of Jet's biggest skills is not, in a sense, making the same mistake twice. I think the dangerous part for him is he'll just continue to get more consistent. But all these guys know what they have to do to try to nip at his heels and get a little bit closer speed-wise. I think he'll be good. But at the same breath, I still think he's going to win A1.
Well, you're wrong. Eli Tomac wins A1.
Eli Tomac wins A1.
Well, I'm going to put this down.
When is Eli Tomac won A1 in his career? I actually don't know. I'm asking.
2025.
Yeah, I don't know that he has.
I've seen it.
If it wasn't for a pant malfunction, he would have had at least one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Michael, we got you on here because Fantasy's about to kick off. You put up an article on Vital MX yesterday, I believe, talking about our new this year's fantasy game. So, yeah, tell everybody what's going on. And there is a MotoXpod league they need to join, but let everybody know all the deets.
Yeah, so this is year 2. We've done our own fantasy game. It actually started off a goofy, Google Sheet game that me and a couple of guys were playing, internally, over 2 years ago. It's basically team manager based, riders have prices. You pick them every single weekend. Their prices go up and down based on how they're performing for the season. But yeah, you guys jump on Vital. It's all built into the website. There's a fantasy tab on the main nav bar. You can go join. You can just play the standard game where we give away prizes. You can create leagues for you and your buddies. Like I said, we have our main global league. There's the MotoXpod League, which has I think that was the second largest league last year, and then a bunch of people created their own. You can either leave them open to the public, you can create a private one for you and your buddies, and use our game to, basically create a little bench racing between you and your friends. But you have to pick at least one rider for $450, one rider for $250. You can pick as many that'll fit in your budget. And again, all that changes round around, but we give away prizes every week. There's weekly prizes, season prizes, and then the game is free to play, so it's not geo-locked or anything weird like that. There is an upgrade for $10. Anybody wants to support us, they get the ability to see pick trends. You do need that to create a private league. You need it to see download. You can download results from riders for the last couple of years, what they've done the last few years, all the races, everything like that.
Yeah, and the what you mentioned is manager, team manager base, which you get $1 million budget, right? We start with $1 million budget, and each week you, through an algorithm of science that I don't understand, kind of figure out this week, Jet is the highest. He's going to cost you the most amount of money. If you want to pick Jet, I don't remember what it was, 200,000?
200,000.
200,000. I think second rider was 190,000. So you have $1 million to spend ML picks the budget. If you don't like the budget, you can send an email to him and complain. But that's the idea, is you pick as many riders as you can get. And, yeah, you could take all the top riders, and maybe you'll have 3 guys, and if one of those guys doesn't finish, you get no points. So you got to kind of spread it out. It's a little bit, I was terrible at this version of fantasy, just like I was the other versions of fantasy. I suck at it, but it's still pretty cool it's fun. I mean, it's just something to do, and it's something, like you said, to bench race with your boys about.
Yeah. It's very straightforward. The riders score exactly the points they do in real life, so there's no like handicaps or over-unders or anything really crazy. It's just very straightforward. Pick guys. You're basically hiring guys going, okay, this guy's worth this much. I think he can get me this many points. Is that worth it? And based off of history, like sometimes you do win by just picking a very high-end team of maybe only 5 or 6 riders, but it seems like more often than not somebody that wins their team has 10 or 12 guys on it, because definitely the bargains get towards the bottom where, somebody who's you have a rider that's more commonly going to move 5 positions. Somebody who barely makes the main one weekend might make it the next and get like an 18th, but they're priced as a guy who's a bubble guy. So you gotta look for the bargains. A1's gonna be really bad because when we say algorithm, the algorithm kicks in a lot more after the first 2 rounds than when I have data. Round 1 is basically me half-half guessing where people are going to finish. If I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah.
So the problem is you look at the sheet as with anybody. It's like, okay, based on the pricing sheet, you would look at it as like Jorge Prado is listed at about as a 10th or 11th place guy. Well, there's 9 dudes in front of him that have won Supercross races. So it is A1 is very, very tough to figure out pricing for. So if you want to start out the season really good, pay close attention to qualifying times to A1. Open your horizons. There will be deals because, there's going to be somebody in there who we thought was going to be a 9th or 10th place dude who's going to end up being a 4th place dude or something.
And just so you guys know, if you play some of the other leagues or the other games, in our version, you can pick the same riders every week if you want. You're not blocked out the following week. So, you got something, TJ?
Well, will it like if I pick the guys this week, and will it automatically reload them the next week if you forget to pick?
No,
because their pricing's changed, so it could the team could go over budget technically the next week, which will lock it out. So no. The bright side though is if you are playing the season and you screw up and do miss a weekend, we do have an auto pick system that works. It works every time you've played. It will work the following week. So if you miss 2 weeks in a row, it doesn't. But let's say you play 1 week and forget. It will automatically pick you a team at, I think it's 75% of the budget. And I make it where usually it can only pick the top 15 in points. So it'll pretty much always pick your main event guys. You won't end up with an amazing score, but you'll end up with enough of a score that it doesn't screw you for the season.
And that's part of the free play too?
Yes. The $10 one does that unlimited, which I would hope you wouldn't screw up 2 3 weeks in a row, but even the free one does it. If you miss a weekend, it'll do it for you. It'll, again, do it for that weekend. But if you miss 2 weekends in a row, the system doesn't activate it anymore. It makes you have to go back and at least play around for it to keep going.
I didn't even know that, so I learned something new tonight. That's awesome.
You can thank me for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, TJ.
There you go.
So VitalMX.com, click the fantasy tab, sign up, join the MotoXpod League. We can all talk shit amongst each other. We'll maybe talk about we'll announce who won every week on the show. And ML said there's some prizes for the leagues and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun, or for the game, the overall game. It's going to be a lot of fun. ML, before we let you go, give me your picks for Podium 450s. You've already said Jet's going to win. Who you got second and third?
Jet, Chase, Kenny.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay. All right.
I'm guessing I'm the only one in the group that picked Kenny so far.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to our picks.
ML, I mentioned that earlier that his betting odds looked pretty enticing.
Oh, you know what sucks is because I got to look at it more like I'm not a betting person, but the odds are really good on some guys for the actual the betting that's come up into the sport this year. However, due to my position and job in the sport, I am not supposed to. Well, it's very convoluted. One of the quizzes we took says we're not allowed to bet. One says we're allowed to spend $20 and under a weekend. So I don't want to go to jail personally, so I won't be betting.
Yeah, I won't be betting either. I'm out.
Yeah.
Sean Brennen will
I'll
be
make
on
Hill's
tonight,
bets.
and we're going to talk about this issue a little bit.
Yeah.
I've got to bring that up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ask for permission or forgiveness, not permission.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the
we've
law.
already ML and I have already taken like a little class and signed things. We know the
You had to
repercussions.
sign. Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we were told we're not allowed to help fix a race. I don't know who would help me fix a race. I don't think anybody would listen to me anyway, so
Well,
that's not a problem.
shit, I'm screwed. I already
but
told you guys who was going to win. I already told you.
I do. Oh, you know, fix race. So I do
Go off the
know.
script.
When they originally gave the class at the media day at Anaheim, I immediately got text from Lewis, Kellen, and a couple other people that said, because of the rules in it, there's some weirdness about how you can talk about riders' injuries in relation to recommending them and other things. I got a text that said, there's bets going on right now if either me or Steve Mathis will be the first one to go to jail for this.
That should be one of the bets.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the over-under, who goes to jail first, me or Steve. The other bet we can come up with is if Lewis will make A1. Currently, Lewis is so sick, I don't think he's been out of bed in 5 days. So also, if you paid the $10 to upgrade your fantasy account, I will make sure that $10 goes to Lewis's recovery fund because, yeah, he's screwed at the moment.
I mean, I can see it like an act of professionalism, like a professionalism code, but to say that y'all would change the course of the race, that's
Well, I
that's
think
more
the
like
idea is
knowing
like
it-
if we go into A1 and say Saturday morning, I find out Jet has a significant injury, but they're not announcing it, and I say, well, I'm not going to bet on him now. That's insider information. Or if I tell you, hey, Jet's
but
hurt,
wouldn't you tweet that anyways?
it depends.
No, he wouldn't.
Depends on
Yeah,
the
so if
situation.
you make it
but
public
that's
knowledge, if you
why-
make it public knowledge, okay, but you can't keep it as you can't
Oh, okay.
use it for your own
Yeah.
purposes or for your friends.
Insider training.
Prove it.
I'm very curious. You know who will probably go to jail first is Dan Truman for trying to help privateers to get him better results.
There you
He'll
go.
get in trouble for giving somebody an ECU to get himself a better score.
That's actually a
That's
good point.
That's a great point.
All right.
Dan's probably going to jail.
Oh, I need to sign up for idiots.
Well, Mel, good talking to you. We are excited for A1. Yeah, hopefully you and Lewis are all able to make A1, and will be a lot of great coverage at VitalMX.com this weekend. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and all our social medias, and keep an eye on the website. Lots of good stuff coming. Tons of great articles that Lewis has been posting recently with all the top riders. So please go check out VitalMX.com if you haven't recently. It's kicking some butt right now. But ML, anything else before we let you go? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and yourself, the 93 season pods are really good. The rookie story, I've seen a lot of comments and feedback on your content lately. It's a great job.
Well, I appreciate that. We are all trying to do our best, and just following Lewis's footsteps of always expecting excellence out of yourself. That's probably why he's sick, man. Is he expects so much excellence out of himself that he works himself to being sick.
Well, that's what he told me. He's like, I have dug myself into the ground getting ready for the first round, and I knew he was on that really big running kick for a while.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, your preseason boot camp, you're sick from it. He goes, no, I'm just made myself sick from stressing out so much about my work.
Yeah, well,
So I thought it was from his preseason boot camp, but apparently it was just him expecting so much greatness.
Well, he does expect greatness. He does a great job, as I think we're you guys can see by going to VitalMX.com, as I keep saying, and checking out everything we're doing. But yeah, ML, anything else before we let you go? We're gonna get Sean Brennen on here in just a second.
That's it, man. Let's all have fun at A1, and hopefully Fancy doesn't make me cuss out too many riders.
All right, sounds good, man. We'll talk to you soon, ML.
Yeah.
See ya. Michael Lindsay from Vital MX. So we're going to get Sean Brennen on in just a moment. Next thing I wanted to touch on just real quick, kind of following up with what we were talking about before, is at A1, we already talked about who will leave disappointed. Who do you think will be a surprise? Maybe you expect him to do well, but you think is unexpected for the general public.
So earlier when I said that I had a question, it kind of would be perfect for this.
Okay.
So I was thinking of some riders and like a scale of 1 to 10 of how surprised you'd be if they won, not just A1, but this season. So if you want to do it that way, we can.
Say it again. Sorry, I'm texting the next.
I know you can't do more
I
than-
can't.
yeah. Well, if the scale of 1 to 10 on what you think the scale would be if this rider winning, like how surprised you'd be if whatever rider we say won this year.
We can maybe do that at the end.
Okay.
But let's just give me
think-
one right now that a rider you think might surprise people in the group.
A1, just specifically for A1.
Yeah, okay, so my example is I said Joey Savacci, riding for Firepower, was on Triumph last year, didn't go well.
Yeah,
Kind
but
of
what's
forgotten a little bit. I think he'll be not top 5, but I think he'll make a showing where people are like, oh, I kind of forgot how good he was.
So if he was over 9th place, you'd be better than 9th place. You'd be surprised. Where are you drawing the line?
I'm not saying like I'll be surprised. I think maybe other people kind of forget about him. So yeah, I think a top 8 is where 8 to 10. And I think people will be kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot that Joey's pretty good. And he might even run up front some. And I don't know that he'll finish up front, but I think he's going to surprise people with his ability and his showing. And I'm saying at A1, he'll be really good.
I think Justin Cooper is going to do better.
That's the other guy on my list.
Like nobody's talking about him really in any of the preseason stuff I've heard. So
Lewis wrote a really good story exactly about that.
Really?
Yeah. So
I'll have to go read it.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he was super fast outdoors. He's healthy all year. Like he
just flies under the radar all the time.
Yeah, I think he's going to do good. Like top 5 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
that would surprise me.
That would surprise you.
Top 5 would surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at Anderson on that. You know
Jason?
what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Can the surprise be a positive or
Yeah. I didn't mean it as negative. Yeah.
Can it also be a negative?
If you want it to be, yeah, sure. Like,
of course,
if I said, I think Jet's going to finish 6th.
Yeah.
That would be a surprise.
That'd be a surprise. I think Jason Anderson will do good this year, but I think when's the last time we've seen him actually have a lot of pressure on him he's got Prado there. There's a lot of people that want to come into that ride. So, I wouldn't be, I don't know. I guess I'm going to be surprised it'll be bad.
I know you have the guest on, but mine's Mookie. I'm going to go against what y'all said earlier. I'm going to say Mookie's surprised.
It's going to be better than
what we expected.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to our next guest and we can get back into this conversation. Our first official guest of the night is brought to you by Yamaha Motor USA. A reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best just don't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com, or better yet, go to your local dealership and check out the Yamahas, everything they have to offer, but it's specifically Blue Crew dirt bikes, and that YZ450 has been treating me right. On the phone with us, Director of Public Relations for Supercross with Feld Entertainment, Mr. Sean Brennen. What's going on, Sean?
What is happening, boys? Hello.
How's it going, man? Are you you having a little downtime? Is it kind of a slow time of the year for you?
It is. I was just going through my contacts and kind of updating people's email addresses and phone numbers, things like that. Just sitting around idle, you know.
Not much going on right this week.
No, it's Christmas, baby. It's Christmas for all of us moto heads.
Yeah, 4 more days. 4 more days. So,
how many hours?
Actually, I don't have that number, Sean.
96.
We need a countdown for the show.
Well, there is a countdown on supermotocross.com, isn't there?
3 days, 3 days, 23 hours, 57 minutes, and 40 seconds.
Till
almost
Wow,
96
look at
hours.
this guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
37.
Nice.
I was going to say that's why we're all in media. We're better with words than we are with numbers. So, but no, you apparently got a guy, man.
TJ is not better with words than he is with numbers. I promise you.
Well, Sean, you're in California, right? You're there.
Yep, I am sitting in the press box inside the stadium watching the track being built as we speak, my man.
Man, that excites me. I wish I was going to be there this week, but I won't be until next week. But that's okay. Lots of good stuff going on. Yeah, we're going to get to watch it on Peacock. We're going to check out. Here's what I want to start with. We only have you for a little bit of time, but I want to ask you, every year, Supercross, Feld wants to improve. You guys are always working on the fan experience. Anything you guys can do to make this better every year. Was there a primary focus for 2025 that you're like, okay, this is what we want to focus on. We want to improve this. Maybe it was based off feedback from fans, teams, riders. Yeah. What was the off-season discussions like?
Wow. It's ongoing, and it's never just one thing. There's always, probably a dozen things that we are working on to try and improve. And, it's long-term stuff. It's long-term visions. It's, things that sometimes there are things that you can fix pretty quick, like you're in a little speedboat or a canoe.
Yeah.
But then there are other things that are, large undertakings that, are a big, cargo ship that take a little bit longer to maneuver and turn. So, we're typically working 5 to 7, and in some cases 10 years out from different things. But this year, I would say a couple different things that have been, again, years in the making. One, always improving the way that people can watch. There's two things, and there's always a delicate balance between the live event and selling tickets and making that entire experience and the Supercross experience everything that we hope it to be. And you want to fill that up, right? You want to give the biggest platform to the greatest athletes in the world. So we're always trying to improve the racing and the overall experience. And then you have the delicate balance of tune-in. You're always driving, how do we get more eyeballs on the sport? So, Peacock has been a great home. They have invested in us, heavily. There's still, our fan base being younger is much more in tune to streaming and where streaming is going. And you're, now seeing, all the streamers jumping on board with other sports. But Supercross, they really took a chance on us, 3 years ago. This will be our third year, with NBC and Peacock. And of course, we still have the linear TV offerings. But last year we debuted the Spanish broadcast with Edgar Lopez and Tommy Rios. And this year in the off season, obviously the huge announcement was having now a French broadcast. So,
what a lineup, right? What a lineup of announcers for that.
Yes. I think David Villemin was probably the biggest surprise by most, right?
I have to learn French. I mean, sorry, RC. Sorry, guys. I want to hear DV.
Yes. And I tell you, being around, all of these guys recently when we were out here for our media sessions, this team is fired up and they are ready to go. And boy, seeing Sebastian Tortelli over here and just how excited he is, and just the respect, we had, over 60 athletes that were here, going through our media days. And of course we're, highlighting them on things that we're improving. And, every time I talk to our athletes about, Sebastian being on TV and David Villemin, like they were just as excited as we all are as fans. Like, wow, you got Sebastian Tortelli in the booth to, be in the broadcast booth. That's fantastic. And then of course, Marvin Muscan and David Villemin. So, there are things for the live event and the live experience. It is one thing. There are the competition and the racing. There's another thing. And then there is obviously the television production, which encompasses everything here domestically. And then of course, internationally as well via our Super Motocross Video Pass. Do you have any Australian listeners?
Oh, yeah.
Jamie?
Yeah.
A couple in the chat
You
right
do?
now.
You got a lot of us. Oh, okay, cool. You got a few in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because somebody recently, I still hear Australians say they cannot watch Supercross.
Okay.
So
ask them while they're listening, Scotty, but ask them in the chat.
I'm going to put that back to you. Jamie, if you are in Australia, how do you watch Supercross?
From the international pass you just talked about. You can sign up.
Exactly. And it drives me crazy when I see different postings and I see people from all around the world. I got to watch highlights or I got to wait for highlights. I can't tune in. Like, where are these people living that they don't know that we have subscribers in over 155 countries to the Super Motocross Video Pass last year.
Yeah.
There isn't a place on this earth that you cannot tune in live to Supercross and Super Motocross.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. Oh my God, I drew a blank.
Did you lose your train of thought for a second?
Yeah, I got stuck
Okay.
in the
Well,
chat.
let me touch on something real quick. Then.
I know what I was gonna say.
All right.
Sean, these are the guys that willingly jump dirt bikes and stuff. Like, we're not the smartest group, so like we need training wheels and be babysat. So like we'll get there. We'll get there.
Maybe they're trying to find a free way to watch. Maybe
probably. That's another thing.
Probably more it.
But I want to go back to the broadcast for just two things about it. If I recall correctly, the overall broadcast numbers for Super Motocross, which is Supercross, Motocross, and SMX Finals, went up something like 25 or 26% for 24. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes. Yep. And anytime you have double-digit growth like that, that is people are paying attention.
Yeah.
That is a significant increase. Yes.
Okay, and then the other thing, just real quick, you mentioned the French broadcast and the Spanish broadcast. I heard there's a rumor out there that there's a Pig Latin one with Randy Richardson from Michelin. Have you seen that? Is that not true?
Man, I love Randy.
Jamie, that was kept under wraps until the press conference on Friday, man. Wow,
like
these guys are always trying to break the news. Man,
just like that flag gear.
We love Randy.
Look at you.
Yeah, we love Randy. Had to throw that out there real quick. But no, French and Spanish is amazing. TJ?
Sean,
yes.
Sean, you deal with like everything from all sides, and as far as riders and team managers to the broadcast stuff. And I know last year was a big deal with the 9 whoops thing. Where are they now? Because obviously the numbers, it's 1 year. It could be just this year. But have you heard from the teams that, hey, it was a good choice, or hey, it's still wrong, we still love it? Where are we at with that from what you are personally hearing?
So I would go back and look at some of the interviews, and I believe your very own Lewis Phillips for Vital asked Mike Mewey some of these questions at our media sessions, and it's early. We don't have the data on it, so that's why we're doing it now, so that we can get some statistics and stack it up. And 2 years from now, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case may be, we'll be able to then really analyze it and see if, one, it's making a difference and what those differences are. But at the end of the day, yes, it's, we have a long season, and anything that we can do to keep athletes safe, that is the primary driver of that.
Okay. Chase?
So y'all started doing like the jerseys and stuff like that, which I think is good because it pumps money into the sport. Is there like any plans to do anything else similar to that? And is there any like, are we going to change up how I guess privateers can't sell their merch in the pits or whatever? Is that ever going to like change, or what are we looking like that with?
So the SMX jerseys that you're talking about, the replica jerseys?
Yeah, the replica jerseys. And how do they get involved? How do riders get involved with that so they can maybe, get a percentage? I don't know how that works.
Yep. No, Michael Lieb with Canvas has a fantastic program. Very smart guy over there with a lot of successful businesses with Canvas, and then of course the other company that is dealing with the replica jerseys. But it is a fantastic split with the riders and the teams. So the percentages are really good. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I would encourage any privateer or any team for that matter that wants to get involved in that to reach out to Michael Lieb directly. It's certainly he's the expert with all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that has been again one of those things that probably 10 years ago people were wanting, boy, I'd love to have a Eli Tomac or Ryan Dungey back then, replica jersey, and there's a lot involved in that, and Michael has figured out a way to make it work and make it not only, I guess efficient would be the right word in producing them, but making it make sense for all the parties involved. If you're the 49ers, look at a 49ers jersey. If you get clearance with the NFL and the team, you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
You don't have 10 other sponsors and 10 other people that you have to deal with. So, no, we're thrilled with what Michael Lieb is doing. He's managing that whole thing. So, yeah, the goal is to continue to grow that for sure.
Sean Brennen tonight, brought to you by Yamaha Motor USA.
All right, Sean, every time we have you on, I always go advertising questions. So I've got to go this route. We've obviously seen the energy drinks in there, and I know that they've done great things for our sport, and we probably wouldn't be where we are without that support. I saw like the Arby's thing at WSX earlier this year. I thought that looked cool. I would like to maybe see some beer sponsors at some point, or it's like other things. What does the sport look like in 10 years from that aspect? And what else would you like to see be sponsored dollars in the sport?
Boy, isn't that the $1 million question?
Of course, literally, right?
Oh boy. Well, we have an announcement that we'll be making here this week with a new partner with the series. We have a dedicated team of professionals that is, having the entire SMX World Championship Series and 31 events, not only does that help viewership and the media rights and television and all of those things, but it makes it a much more exciting package for sponsors as well. So we are fortunate that we have great partners that are continuing to support us. I think that you'll see some of the friendly sponsors that are here today, still involved in the sport 5 to 10 years from now as well. But yeah, outside the sport sponsorship, that's $1 million question. That's the $1 million goal that everybody is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And I think that when we all just keep doing what we're doing and you see 26% year over year growth, you see, the different types of storytelling with, sports business journal type, you start to see us in the conversation with other sports. That's where, the awareness factor of super motocross and what we're doing, ends up hitting, the right eyeballs. So everything that we're doing to grow this sport, the money will come. You keep staying focused on the product and, making sure that is continuing to grow, which we are doing. The money will come, the outdoor sponsors will come.
Yeah.
And, but again, I don't want to shy away from the great partners that we have, right now as well. And I certainly do see them, continuing to be a huge supporter of our continued growth, as well as their growth as well.
Yeah, I don't want
think about the OEMs too. Think about the OEMs too. There's a lot of us invested in this sport, and obviously Triumph has been, doing a phenomenal job with bringing new bikes to market. Everybody is aware that Ducati is coming. So it's exciting. And there's a lot of different entities involved in moving this train down the track.
Yeah. I didn't want to take away anything from the energy drinks stuff, because I know that it's been huge for the sports development. So, preface by saying that, but for sure, I think you answered it very well.
All right, Sean, let's talk about one of the biggest announcements of the offseason, and that's SMX League partners with, I think it's ALT Sports Data, and this exclusive global sports
data.
Yeah, let's talk about global sports betting and how it works with super motocross and what that does for the sport and why you got SMX chose to do this.
So that's another one of those 3, 4, 5, 7 years, projects in the making Boy, I think it was maybe 2 years ago. Josh Hill was asking me just, a random question like, hey, man, do you ever think that, we'll be able to bet and have betting in our sport? And, those conversations are already happening. There's a lot of things, with our sport that you have to have timing and scoring, and you have to have that consistent, each and every week. So we have been behind the scenes working on our new timing and scoring platform.
Yep.
There's been many, many upgrades made to that. So we had to test that. We tested that during the first year of the SMX playoffs. And finally, we got it to where we know that it is what is needed, and that we can, and then the sport and the league can depend on it. But sports betting, that puts you in, that same conversation as every other sport, every other league, every other type of pro sports you're able to bet on. Fans love it. There's a stat that I read recently that over 60% of NFL viewership comes from people that have as a minimum of a $5 wager on it.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. 60% of and you hear these huge numbers with football, I forget which game it was, but it was a blowout last week. 28 million people still, tuned in for it. And that's why you're seeing, Amazon getting into it. You're seeing Netflix getting into it. Yeah. Obviously, Peacock has been in it. They were the first ones to stream an NFL playoff game last year. So you are seeing more and more of this in the future. But, sports betting, it's twofold. One, it legitimizes the sport in a lot of mainstream eyes, but it also provides another touch point for fans. It is another way for fans to engage with the sport that might not otherwise, the problem that we have is you guys know, is that there are a lot of folks out there that haven't grown up on a motorcycle. They don't understand it. There is, an intimidation and an education factor that comes along with dirt bike racing. But this, once you get them plugged in, like once you get them to an event, they're hooked for life. Once they become a fan of a certain athlete, they're hooked for life. So somebody may end up, putting a $5 wager on Hayden Deegan and, winning $200 and just be thrilled. And like, now I've got to tune in every week. And my goodness, when is Hayden going to be racing, next in, close to my city? So it's another touch point for fans to engage with the sport, which again, this has been, 3, 4, 5 years in the making. It is a huge, huge announcement, obviously that we just made this week.
It is. And the only issue, or the main issue that I kind of see, and we've talked about, and some of the other media guys in our group text we talked about, is the lack of openness about injuries and things like that from teams. And in other sports, because of the unions and all that, those injuries get released, and they don't so much in this sport. Have you guys discussed that? I don't know anything about betting, so I don't really understand what the implications of that could be.
Yes. So we have had, obviously we have been talking about this with the OEMs and the race teams for quite some time. Okay. So we have been transparent with them throughout this entire process. But there is a huge learning curve with all of us, with this. This is a new territory for all of us. Like you, I'm not a big betting guy. So I've had to really kind of dive in and, really kind of learn things, a little more than, some others. Yeah. But no, we're still learning. We still don't have it, all figured out. And, anytime you start something new, there's something that you didn't think about that, oh, wow, no, we didn't think about that, but how is that going to affect it? And then we, figure out and solve it. So no, we have had these conversations with the OEMs, and they certainly do understand how this puts us in new territory and different territory. And they are going to have to be more open, because we are going to have an obligation to update the sports books if somebody is not racing.
Yeah.
You know, will that eventually get to the point of injury reports and things like that with like other leagues have? Maybe. I think that would be the long-term goal eventually. But that's not going to be, it's crawl, walk, run.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, sure.
But yeah, everybody understands that this does put the sport in a different light, and there are legalities around this now that we all have to play within these rules, which is going to be a little bit different for all of us.
The fact of making the injury updates more open and more updated and frequent that sounds insane, Sean. Good luck.
Well, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Let me be clear that we're right there today. We're not.
Yeah, exactly.
But could we someday, every Tuesday have an injury report, or every Thursday? Maybe other leagues do it, and of course they've gone through these types of growing pains as well. And that's all this is. It's a growing pain, and it's a different way to think about things. But, for the growth of the sport and the continued growth of the sport, hey, it's great that we're having growing pains, right?
Yeah. Could be the other way. Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned updating live timing and scoring. And for those that don't know, there is a SMX app. You can download it to your phone from your store. SMX live timing and scoring app. So guys, check that out. Get that on your phones. Hopefully it's going to be a lot better than dealing with all the AMA stuff that they've struggled with that whole website. So and this thing will continue to improve. One of the many things that Sean said that they're working on improving for a better experience for everybody. I want to ask you about in the season overall. First of all, Futures is no longer called Futures, I don't believe, right? It is now SMX Next.
That is correct. SMX Next. Yep.
Okay, so I just want to throw that out there. That's going to be part of the series. Obviously, there are three. No, there's more than that. There's how many? There's 6 qualifiers. 4 qualifiers and a championship that happens in Pittsburgh. So last year, if I recall correctly, the final race, like the races leading up to Salt Lake City, didn't necessarily matter that much. The one race was everything. Is this one going to be like points? You get points for each one, and then it goes into the final. How's the scoring work for this year?
So it will still be this year. Will be the championship there in Pittsburgh, but SMX Next overall, yes, it will include what used to be the Supercross Futures rounds, and then the Moto Combine rounds.
Okay, yeah, and
it will be included in the SMX playoffs and final as well.
Okay.
So the SMX playoffs last year and the year before, for the first 2 years, we had the 65s, the Super Minis, and the 250s.
Yes.
This will be all the way through. It'll be SMX Next 250 all the way through. So eventually we'll get to a point where the amateurs are earning points just like the pros are to get to the final playoffs as well.
Okay.
So again, baby steps. We couldn't change again, you don't want to change everything right away. Just even the name change, going from Supercross Futures to what's this?
Yeah.
So, but eventually it will be cohesively all the way through and look and work and feel just like the pros do.
Love it.
I'm surprised you changed the name, because as somebody who's been around the amateur stuff, the term futures has become like synonymous. What was the reasoning for the change? Yep.
What was the reason?
Yeah.
These are the next stars of the sport right here. You're seeing them next, So it's the same connotation, obviously future, these are all the future pros. But, next just really, this is the next generation coming up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a request. I may have asked you this before. I would like to see one of the showdowns be a Triple Crown. The reason I always say this is there's 3 Triple Crowns every year, so one coast always gets an extra. I feel like if you make one of them a Triple Crown, it evens them out. What say you?
Yep. Is this a suggestion box?
Yes.
Yeah, here it is. Yep. Here's the suggestion box. Okay, let me fold it up. Let me put it in. Okay, got it.
Oh, it looks like a trash can.
It looks like a trash can.
It's going to be like the one on The Office.
Yeah.
That's
Over the paper
Toby's
shredder.
file for complaints on Michael Scott. It
Yeah.
was just never actually went to corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Just a suggestion. We can move on.
No, it is. It's an interesting idea. And I'm sure, it's Mike Neely that, is the mastermind or, behind a lot of this stuff. And,
I know.
I'm sure that he is probably, if he hasn't already thought about it, he'll hear this and maybe that will spark something.
I'll corner him in San Diego.
There you go.
Okay. A couple more questions before we let you go. I just got a text from a Mike Bonacci, and he wants to know if a Mike Bonacci drives you crazy.
I love Mike Bonacci. Do you know that he just texted me within the last hour and said, hey, on Friday, my rig is going to be parked. It's going to be set up. I'm going to have breakfast. Anybody that wants to come and hang out at the Club MX Semi is open for, he's going to have it all ready, spit shined and ready to go. So, I love it. That's a guy right there.
Yeah, Mike is great people, man. And always very, very welcoming. So we greatly appreciate Mike.
Hey, but real quickly with Mike, it is really impressive. And I know that you have been over at Club MX. And you have ridden there. And, this off season, after the playoffs, we went down, spent some time with Brandon and Mike again. And boy, hearing their ideas on even like when you go there now, it is just a fantastic facility. People see, or hear about the training side and all the amateurs, and then of course see the race team and the results and everything that they're building there. But certainly not my news to share, but boy, they have got even some bigger ideas that I think are just amazing. And they're thinking about this sport and their facility in a whole different way.
Yep, exactly.
That I think is really, really impressive. So if Mike is tuned in, kudos to you, Mike, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, he's listening. We appreciate Mike. Okay, I got one more forum question. This is from one of our regular listeners, dog_lover136. I believe that's Faith, our friend Faith.
It is.
She asked, is it Feld increasing the prices or Ticketmaster for tickets? Why was Vegas the most expensive SMX round? So explain to listeners what I don't know what the word is looking, what figures into a price
what
per stadium.
It?
Yeah, there's different factors. So what creates that price?
Is she on live?
She's listening. Yeah, she's on YouTube.
Yeah, usually does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's
Did she
usually,
attend? Did she attend Vegas?
Yeah, I believe she did. And she's usually a bunch of the California rounds too. Her and her dad come.
Limited seating in Las Vegas. Limited seating. Everything with tickets now is what is called dynamic pricing, and I'm sure that you've all heard this. And it's probably been, 10, at least 10, maybe even longer than that, 15 years now in live entertainment. But it's all based on supply and demand. Certainly isn't something that we sit around and boy, we want to. Of course, as a promoter, you have a budget. Like you have to have a budget. Obviously, every dollar is tracked. Whether you're doing, promoting Supercross, you're doing rock and roll shows, or any kind of music. Like you start with a budget, and then you have all of your expenses, and you're hoping that all of your revenue streams that you end up, on the other side of it, making money. But it certainly isn't something that we sit around and boy, can we, it's not about gouging. Is think what I want to say.
Yeah.
But it's dynamic pricing that's really simply based on supply and demand. In Las Vegas, we had very little seating there just because of that venue. They only had grandstands on one side of that venue. We had to build all kinds of different infrastructure in Las Vegas. So if she was there, she would have, seen a lot of that, but she would have also noticed the limited amount of seats that were there as compared to Texas Motor Speedway or a Daytona, or even if, we end up at Charlotte Motor Speedway inside the Big Bull, it's unlimited seating, right? So those ticket prices are going to be much, much lower than a place that you have limited seating.
Perfect.
But also like Anaheim 1 here, this is, one of the most demanding, races that we have. So of course that demand for that ticket is going to drive up prices.
Okay.
I believe me, it is something that we are very sensitive to. We're all consumers as well. It's interesting when you see a lot, and I know you're a music guy, Jamie, but you see some of these bands out there and you hear of, $1,500 tickets, $2,000 tickets. And it certainly isn't something that, in a lot of cases, like a Bruce Springsteen, I heard that some of those tickets were going for $4,000, but it all comes back to, dynamic pricing, and supply and demand.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good answer. All right. I have two more, but I'm going to give you a choice. Sean Brennen breaking news or put Sean Brennen on the spot.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Let's go with on the spot. Let's just do it.
All right. On the spot, give me your picks for the podium at A1 450s. I know you don't like to do this, but I figured I was going to make an attempt.
Podium. I am going to go with, I don't have to say who wins, right? I can just pick the podium.
I'll give you that. That's fine.
All right. Let's do Eli, Jet, and Jason Anderson.
Oh, J.A. I like that. Okay. All right. I like that.
In some form or fashion.
All right. Well, Sean, I still have a list of questions I would like to get to with you, but we got Julien Beaumer coming up in a few minutes, and I think we took enough of your time, and I really appreciate you jumping on here, and you answered a lot of the questions we had, and thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. And, on the Sean Brennen breaking, I do have something there as well. On Friday, we will be announcing the locations and cities for the SMX playoffs coming up in September.
That's so funny. That was literally going to be my breaking news question is give us one.
See, you got both.
Yeah.
See, you got both.
Awesome. Well, Sean, that's awesome.
Friday at the press conference, we'll be making that announcement.
Awesome. And from I think breaking news, nobody else knows, Steve Mathis banned from SMX. Hard card pulled.
No pizza.
Yeah.
No press conference.
Pizza. He just doesn't get it.
Okay.
He's not even in the system anymore.
No, he's gone. Sean, thank you so much for your time.
Deleted.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome, guys. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. Thank you for your continued support of the SMX World Championship. Appreciate everything you do, and looking forward to seeing you at a race here soon.
Sounds good, Sean. See you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Sean Brennen, brought to you by Yamaha Motor USA. Answered a lot of questions, gave us a lot of information. Looking forward to getting to racing going soon. We've got a few minutes before we get Julien Beaumer on. We do a couple reads real quick. You guys learn anything from that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Dad.
Did you pay attention, kiddos?
Pop quiz.
ProX. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for parts for your bikes. if you guys are riding, you're buying parts. You might as well use a company, a website that supports us here at MotoXpod. ProX does that. I get chains and sprockets and filters from them, and they are amazing, great prices. So please check out ProX. Let them know you're listening to the MotoXpod show and supporting Vital MX. Trying to look at time frame. We're not going to be able to do X brand tear-offs right away. So let's do Evans coolant emails. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonations. But with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and many other teams, regardless of the sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Okay. Evans coolant emails. Man, I think I might have actually made this the T-Bolt top 5 too. So let's skip that one because that's going to be the T-Bolt top 5. Chris wants to know things to do when in California for Anaheim. They're going to
Go ride the hills in the high des.
Well, I don't know if they had a bike, but that's a good one. But
That doesn't matter.
If you're going to Cali,
Rent
one.
give me 5 things to do or see. TJ, you went first. That's your first one.
That's the only thing they're really
That's
to do. Is you just go ride the hills in the high des.
I don't know how you ride heels.
Heels.
I walk on my heels sometimes, but how do you ride your heels?
With Heelys?
Okay, go ride the hills. That's it. There's nothing else.
There's nothing.
There is
better.
more to do in California than there is to do anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, go ride the heels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chase, go ahead.
Get stuck in
TJ's an
traffic for
idiot.
6 hours? Get stuck in traffic?
Go to Chaparral.
Okay.
Go to PC. Like,
Boring.
I mean, if you've
It's
never
not
been,
for a lot of these
it's
people.
super cool. I had a good time.
Yeah.
We don't all
Didn't
hate
you-
Supercross, TJ.
Didn't you like break a fart off with that?
Yeah,
place?
no, it was JT.
JT.
It was God. That was ridiculous.
So bad.
It was.
He like.
Okay. Let's. What else would you do? We only have a few
Side of
minutes.
yeah.
TC. Sorry.
Go down to Venice Beach. It's cool
Yep.
if you've never been.
Absolutely. The pier is awesome.
Yeah, go to the Santa Monica Pier.
Yep.
And then when you're in Santa Monica, go to this Italian place. It's UOVO.
Chasing his places.
Dude, no.
Chasing. You need to show Chase's places.
That's not a bad idea. It's the best Italian food I've ever had. They cook it like it's almost like a kitchen setup. You're sitting at a bar, so they cook it right in front of you. Like bring the pan. It's go eat there if you don't do anything else I said.
Anytime you're on a road trip with Chase, he's like, dude, there was this shack on the side of this barn, the chicken parm, dude. It was great.
Nice. I like a good chicken parm. Scotty, you got any that you'd
I've
want?
never been to California, so I have no
what are
idea.
some things you've heard of that you'd want to do? Like a lot of people make those trips. They want to go to Glen Helen.
I have no idea where how close Anaheim is to
Let's say
Hollywood.
it's all
I
for a
have
week.
no idea.
It's all within like an hour and a half as each other.
LA, like all that.
I mean, it can be. It's not, but it can be. From Anaheim, it's not that bad.
I would probably just want to go ride.
If you want fentanyl, you go there.
Yeah.
All right. So for me,
I mean, I'd probably go to a few.
I would go down.
But
Go down to LA. I'd check out the whiskey and the rainbow. All those things that were a big deal to me.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's a killer record store downtown.
I would want to go to. Wouldn't want to stay there long because I'm pretty sure it's just homeless people now. But I would like to see like Hollywood and down.
Yeah, I'd like walking around that area.
Go
It's awesome.
go right through Compton.
I gotta say,
I would probably do it.
I'm not even kidding.
No,
it was
yeah.
pretty wild.
I'll
going
probably do
through
it during
there.
the day.
Yeah, no, definitely do
Probably
it
do
during
most
the
of
day.
that during
I
the
will
day.
say one that's not riding in the heels. Go depending on where you are. You said go to A1, but you're talking about California.
Yeah, if you're in
general.
California for a vacation,
Going to
you
go
to
see
A1.
the what are those trees called?
Joshua trees.
Oh,
No.
I got one.
No,
the
big
redwoods.
trees,
That's
the
way up
redwood.
north.
Yeah, that's like 8 hours.
That's like San
up.
Francisco.
Yeah,
I mean, you could. I guess if you're there for a week and that's what you want to do. Yeah,
I mean, it is worth
If
going
you're
to
coming
see.
to
It's
San Francisco.
If you're coming
Yeah.
that direction, it is obscene how big those trees are.
I'm glad the whole San Francisco trip I went on was horrible, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we went just for that.
Yeah.
I would want to go to Bob's Big Burgers and Randy's Donuts.
Randy's Donuts is amazing.
Fat burger.
that
Bob's Big Boy, you mean?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Bob's Big Boy is.
You
They have
know
those
what I was
everywhere,
talking
don't
about.
they?
Yeah, huh?
They have those
I'm just thinking of
everywhere.
like the
Bob's?
stuff
The
I've
big
seen in
boys?
thousands
Yeah,
of
there's-
They're
movies.
not everywhere, but they're in Cali. They're
Utah,
Minnesota,
Nevada.
up north, but
Yeah.
they're not always called Bob's. There's same chain, but they're like
That or Randy's Donuts, where because it's always it's
Randy's
infamous.
Donuts is the giant donut.
The donut,
we
yeah,
went
it's
there, didn't we?
went there.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
took
yeah.
you there.
Fat burger's really good too.
Yeah,
Is that what I was thinking of? I don't know. I just the stuff I see
No,
in
Bob's
movies.
Big Boy is.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's
go to
He was in Austin Powers. Like
Yes.
Yes.
Other things that I love. Again, I like the beach. You said Venice. I like Dana Point and Huntington. Yeah, going to those shops is kind of cool because they're famous within our industry. So yeah, go to the desert, go in the mountains, check out the snow. If at this time of year it's snowing,
Marina Del Rey is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry that TJ just hates everything.
No, I don't hate riding in the heels.
We need to go back because
Let's go.
I've got a way to get in like all those spots in Beaumont now.
Yeah, I'm
When do
driving
you wanna
back
go?
next week.
We can go.
You're gonna be out there next week?
Yeah, I leave.
I can't go next
I leave
week.
Wednesday. But we got our next guest of the night on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight seat foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talari and Super 73 and covers for the Sur and Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 business hours. So visit gutsracing.com and let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Red Bull, KTM Factory Racing, 2024 Supercross Rookie of the Year, Julien Beaumer. What's up, Juju?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Dude, I appreciate you. You came on and did an interview with me about a week or so ago for something I wrote on Vital, and you came back on for this show. So, yeah, it means a lot that you give us so much of your time.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, all the podcasts and everything's really good for the sport. So I'm always honored to be on one.
Well, thank you for that.
It's great jet ski weather right here right now, Juju. It's 26
I meant to tell
degrees
you, like,
outside.
no jet ski questions.
I didn't. It was a jet ski joke.
What was that?
Sorry,
I said it's great jet ski weather right here with us right now. It's 25 degrees outside.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, Julian, as I asked you when we talked a couple weeks ago, I don't know that everybody that listened to that is the same people that listen to the show necessarily. So I want to ask you again, 2024 Rookie of the Year. I don't know that was one of well, you did actually say it was kind of one of the things you were hoping for, but talk about that and what that means to you and what it was like to obtain that goal in your rookie season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, Rookie of the Year is a big thing. You only have 1 year to do it. And I feel like I had obviously a pretty good slot of rookies. Obviously, Ryder D first full year in Supercross, Dax Bennick also a rookie. So I had some good guys to go up against, and for sure I'm honored to have come away with that. I think, yeah, it's a good award, but I think for me it was I was frustrated with some of my rides and some of the things I did, but no, for sure, very, very happy to have won that.
So you come in, I'm not going to say like under the radar, you were a touted amateur, but there's some of the kids that you named there and other ones that had a higher ceiling is what everybody thought. And then you come in right like during the same time they are and outperform. How does that like play to working for this year and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously Ryder D probably had the most hype coming out of the amateurs, up there on the level of Hayden, and then Dax Bennick also up there quite a bit. So for sure, I think obviously I raced them my whole life, and I train with Ryder D now. So I wouldn't say it was for me. I knew I was in that realm. I think just as an amateur, I never really believed in myself or really trained to try and win. Like obviously I was training or whatever, but I wasn't training off the bike or doing this and doing that, doing the road rides and stuff like that. So as an amateur up until when I hired Davey, I think obviously I was a little bit behind the 8 ball. But I think obviously when I started training and stuff, it started coming around.
So that's interesting. You say you weren't training to win. So as an amateur, you were more like, okay, I'm happy to get second behind these guys, where maybe that's changed now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like you're going when you go to races to win, but I knew that obviously I wasn't doing the off the bike training. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. And I obviously didn't have a bike that Ryder D or Dax Bennick had. So when you add all the odds up against you, it's hard to believe that you're going to go to a race and win. So I think now I'm in a much different spot.
Yeah, Juju, to transfer from that all the way to this year, you are the coveted annual flying at the test track guy. So to go from that to being the guy that's got all the speed is pretty cool transition for you. And when you I don't know, you may stay off of social media and not try to get too invested in that stuff. But if you do hear yourself or you do see that you're the fast guy at the test track, how was that affecting your confidence?
I mean, for sure. Of course, obviously, it affects your confidence a lot. You gain a lot of confidence knowing. I think more so not knowing that you're like the fast guy or whatever, but more so just like people are talking about you. So, when people start talking, that means that you're there and they know what you're doing. So, I think the flying at the test track thing is. I don't know where some people, how some people know.
We know everything, Juju.
I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like all off season, obviously, I was going to Paula and whatnot, but I mean, like, all off season, it's really just been me, Ryder D, and our crew at the test track. So it's like, damn, I don't know how people know some of these things. But no, for sure. I've had a really good off season, and I feel like I'm in a really good spot.
Awesome.
So what's been the biggest thing you've learned off the rookie season? You did great. SMX ended up, you're building all year. Would it be like something with testing? Just like, what did you like draw out of your rookie year that you think is going to help you the most?
I think probably just knowing the way the tracks break down. Obviously, last year I had no idea how the track was going to break down or what the track was going to do. So for me, I came in almost a little bit blind, and at A1 I was way off on bike setup, and I think I was off on bike setup all Supercross season last year compared to where we're at right now. But I think just knowing the way the track's going to break down, going to the test track and testing and being like, all right, yeah, this could work here, but it might not work at the race with the way the track breaks down at a race. So I think just having that in the back of my mind and knowing, going to the test track, knowing like what I need to feel at the test track for it to work at the race.
Yeah, it's all learning. That's kind of the article that I interviewed you for is talking about, like, it takes time. You have to learn these things. It's really unfair to be expected to go out and be dominant and win right away. All these things you're learning, you're going to learn more this year. It's going to take year 3 before you're probably really starting to peak. Could be wrong. You could go out there and be a podium guy every week this year. Hopefully that's the case, but I really think it's still going to be another learning year. But I want to go back to 2 things you mentioned early in this interview. One, not believing in yourself. Why do you feel like you kind of didn't really believe in yourself? Was it solely because you didn't have the same equipment, or was there something else?
I mean, as an amateur, obviously not solely because I didn't have the same equipment. I mean, I wasn't training. I was drinking soda, doing whatever.
Enjoying the ride.
Doing whatever. So, so I hired Davey. That obviously all changed. And then I think even I was in like a state of mind even last year where it was like I don't think I was sure that I still like that I belonged there, or that I was put here for a reason. And I think the biggest thing for me now is just knowing that everything God does is for a reason, and everything I've done these last 2 years was for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now this whole off season, it's just been believe in yourself. And I'm in a spot right now where I think I believe in myself, and I'm ready to go win.
Now, did that shift in belief of yourself come from the results you got last year, or was it, having Davey in your corner, or just a mixture of things?
I think for sure a mixture of things. I think obviously I had that podium in Charlotte that helped a lot, but I think the biggest thing that I felt was when I got into boot camp and I started, like, I got back training, and it was just like I could click off motos at a good speed. Like, we could just keep going.
Yeah.
And we worked a lot on fitness this off season, and even Davey the other day, he came to me like, it gets frustrating when I can throw everything at you and you're not fazed by it. Like last year, if I threw something at you, you'd be like, oh, really? Like, we got to do that? Where this year, it's like, I can throw anything at you and you're just going to look at me and say, all right, let's do it. So I think that was a big thing of just not necessarily believing in my riding, but believing in knowing that I can do this. I can ride how I want to ride for 15+1. And that's the biggest thing for me this year is I know I'm in really good shape. I know our bike is really good, and I think I'm just ready to go race.
All right.
Yeah, now that you've gotten the first season out of the way, the technique's gotten better. I'm sure you've got more comfortable with the bike and the team, and that, you know, we as you just talked about, having the confidence is all better. Are you ready to go through? You have a lot of guys in this SX championship that are a couple years into this. There's going to be some head games, I think, in this season. I think there's going to be a lot of racecraft stuff. Is that something that you think about, have addressed, maybe the racecraft side of things? How does any of that affect you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we have plans, and we know obviously Hayden's going to try and play mind games. He does it. He did it all
That's
last year.
That's not what I meant, Juju.
We gotta we gotta come in prepared, and mentally I'm really strong right now, and I believe that I can beat him. So the goal is to go out there. If he wants to play mind games, we'll play him right back, and go out and win.
I have a new favorite 250 rider.
Yeah, it's the same thing Levi told us too, right? That bring the head games, like that. And I think that's what it's going to take, Julien. You can't let it bother you. You got to give it back, and hopefully it affects him. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously last year, like RJ tried at the end of the season, but all season it was like everyone really rallied underneath him. It was just like he kind of controlled everyone.
Yeah.
And I think obviously Levi said it, and I'll say it also. It's you got to play the mind game right back with him. You gotta do the same thing he's doing. So that's the plan.
I put the press day advert up off after Juju said that. Oh. Tune into press day, everybody.
Tune into press day. Yeah.
So you got any good Rarick stories?
Seth Rowe.
What was that?
I said, you got any good Seth Rarick stories?
Seth. I wouldn't say any like crazy good ones. He's just funny. He's so awesome. I love when he did all his marathon stuff.
Yeah.
And every race, I'll be like walking out the hotel at like, especially outdoors, it's like 6 a.m. and we're driving to the track. And I'm like, I walk down into the lobby and this guy's walking in from a run. And I'm like, it's a bit early for that.
He goes all in when he does something like that. We love
it's
Seth.
like every round, every Saturday. It's like 5:45. He's just walking into the hotel from a run. I'm like,
he's getting old, man. He's got to keep that physique up.
No, for sure. He's really awesome though.
Okay, going back to one of the other things you said in the beginning, I think we did talk about this when we talked last week, but you mentioned frustrations with last year, things you didn't do well. Tell us that again, what that was, so our listeners that didn't hear that can, because you pointed out a couple of specific things, as I recall.
I think I had a lot of press day crashes that were just uncalled for. I mean, I can't be crashing like that on press day. It's press day.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, right?
Yeah, it's like when you see a guy front flipping in a rhythm section on press day, it's a bit. All right, that's rough.
Yeah,
so,
and you know that tweet's going out immediately.
Oh yeah, immediately. Juju down on press day. So none of that this year. And I think I had a lot of speed, you could say, in the off season last year, but it was it came in days. Like it'd be like 2 days on and then mediocre a couple days. So in those 2 days on, I'd have one good day and then I'd get a little bit too confident, try something I probably shouldn't try, and then we're back going to hang out with Dr. G for a couple hours. So just too many little things that I didn't do well. Yeah. My racecraft wasn't great. I got into too many little scuffles. I didn't pass quick enough. I was very slow the first 2 laps. I didn't make quick passes early on in the race. And we worked a lot on those things this off season. Obviously, having Rider D in our camp now was really nice. Having someone with good speed that we could train off of, and we could pass each other and do that. So that was nice to have, to work on little things like that. Have like mini race motos. So that was nice to help out with racecraft quite a bit. And just, I think, obviously, belief helps with everything. So
Yeah.
believing in yourself and knowing that you're the guy.
Hey, Juju, they brought up Rarick, and it made me think of the re-raceables he does with a couple other guys.
He's a legend.
Yeah, a
You can
legend.
mention him.
Yeah, it's funny. I just was making a joke. But do you follow the history of the sport at all? Do you have do you care about any of that stuff about past races? Do you watch a lot of old races? And then is there anybody that you tried to emulate in your riding style?
I actually do watch some. I watched, I don't remember what year it was, but it was Villo Stewart at Monster Cup.
Oh, that was good.
He missed the Joker lane
13.
and then crashed on that 4 over.
He crashed so hard.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually rewatched that race the other night. I think not necessarily a certain person I look for in style or want to be like, but it's trying to put everyone's best together, what everyone does best together.
Yeah.
And try to make something out of that. Obviously, one guy's going to be good here, one guy's going to be good in another part of the track. So just trying to watch out for where he's good, where this guy's good, and try to mimic some of the things they do and try to put it all into one.
Is this quad stewable? Yeah.
It hurts.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we had a quad at the test track this week, or not this week, but I jumped it, and it didn't look big from the landing. If you look at the face from the landing, it's it's not that big. You look at the thing from the front, big. And Davey told me, "Oh yeah, you can do it."
Of course he did.
And he's like, "Yeah, you'll make it." I was like, "All right." Luckily, I made it. I did make it, but it was a little bit too close for comfort. I only jumped it twice, and I was like, "All right, we're done. I'm good."
That's good.
That one is too much.
I don't think it's right for your trainer to be like, just send it,
Well,
man.
especially when you're saying we don't need to have any of these press
hold
day
on.
crashes or these things that are unnecessary. Let's
on.
jump a quad
Yeah.
1 week before A1.
The only thing is with Davey is 99.9% of the time, if he tells me I can make it, I've made it.
Yeah.
But
So,
there's that 1%.
Shit.
Way to go, dude.
I don't think so. Yeah, I haven't crashed on something he's told me to jump.
But there's that 1% that you haven't made it. You say that, yeah.
That .01.
Yeah.
Oh, Davey's his trainer. He's trying to make sure he gets a full body workout, and that includes
Learning how to
working the
case
sphincter,
stuff.
the
Yeah, the
sphincter
sphincter.
muscles. Getting going.
Actually,
Yeah.
the other day, I was messing around after training, and there was a pretty big transfer that I wanted to jump, and I looked at it a couple times, and he came back and he looked at me. He goes, "I would have jumped it already." and then I was like, "No, you wouldn't have." And he goes, he said something. I was like, and then he goes, "Yeah, you're not jumping it, by the way. Goodbye. Go back to the truck." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Just be like, I'm going to put on the neck donut and go for it.
That's the difference in Davey and Kevin Windham, because Kevin Windham would have done it.
Yeah,
and he
with-
would have done it
and a flannel and blue jeans, yeah.
t-shirts
I would say he would have taken his bike and done it.
in tennis shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still reeling a little bit from him saying, "Oh yeah, I watched some old races with Stewart and
Dude, I know.
What did you expect? I knew he was going
old
to say
races,
something.
man. Jeremy McGrath,
Yeah, he
Ricky
doesn't-
Johnson."
I was thinking at least RC or something back
That
05, 06,
probably
but
looks
yeah.
like
I'm so
watching
old.
footage of steamboats from
Dude,
1900 for Juju.
I still watch early 90s stuff, and I'm born in the early 90s.
Hey, Juju, whenever Darkside talks about old races, it's stuff that's hard to find on YouTube, and normally it's black and white.
Yeah, I'm old, dude.
square wheels and wooden spokes.
They didn't just call
If
it looks.
it's not YouTubeable, I probably won't find it.
It's on YouTube,
Yeah, they're
Juju.
there.
Jeez. I mean, YouTube wasn't around when these races were happening, but they are on YouTube.
Somebody
Come
took
on.
their VHS
Somebody's
tapes.
dad was a hero and
Yeah.
put him
All
on,
right, listen,
on YouTube.
Julien Beaumer
It's on reel to
tonight,
reel.
brought to you by Guts Racing. Couple more things. This West Coast, man, is stacked. We say this every
deep,
year.
Hashtag deep field.
But this is the deepest of the 250 fields, man. I mean, you've got Hayden Deegan, Austin Faulkner, Levi Kitchen, Joe Shimoda, Jordan Smith, yourself.
Who's doing East?
Yeah.
I think I am.
RJ, maybe. Well, actually, RJ might now be doing West also. He did not confirm, but he's on the press conference list.
I thought he had some kind of little nagging injury.
Yeah,
or
but he's
something.
on the list, so we don't know yet.
Oh,
and
okay.
he tweeted something today that hinted, I think, at like he might be there. But anyway, a lot of competition, man. It's a lot to deal with mentally. How do you kind of go into this race and be like, these guys are badass, right? I know they're badass. You have to put that to the side and go, I'm also badass. I'm one of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I think we even talked about it the other day, and I don't know who I was talking to, but I was like, I think the more the better.
Nice.
The more guys, the better, and it's going to make for better racing, and it's going to make everyone raise the bar a little bit. So for me, it's keep bringing good guys, and I'll keep getting better. So the goal is obviously there's going to be a lot of guys on the gate. You got to get a good start, and you got to try and run away. So that's the plan.
That is good because, like, you know, when at the end stages of the championship, if you need a guy to be in between you and whoever you're battling, you know, like a lot of times they're not there. So it's like, well, the worst he's going to do is third, you know. So it's like if the possibility of whoever can get seventh, I mean, that just makes the championship better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be a lot of close racing. There's going to be a lot of guys who have the speed to win. So it's going to make for good racing. It's going to make for good battles. And I think it's going to be a fun show at A1 on Saturday.
I agree. Let's close this thing out. I got a forum question for you, and then I want to talk to you about your gear, man. One Industries coming back with Julien Beaumer. That's awesome. I love some One Industries.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love this stuff. They did. I'm not sure if you guys see my post today, but they did incredible on the gear that we've got this year, and I can't wait to show everyone it.
Yeah, it looks good. We are an FXR supported show, but it's hard to not like One Industries, and I know they're part of the O'Neill family, and A-Ray super excited about it. So yeah, looking forward to that. The forum question is from one of our regular listeners, Dog Lover 136. She wants to know how you got into barrel racing. I don't even know if I knew you did barrel racing.
Don't tell me that.
Probably was going to be asked at some point.
What did he say?
He said, I thought this was going to be asked at some point.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's 2025, Juju. Everybody knows everything.
No, I didn't barrel race since like 2023, and I only did like 1 or 2 races. My ex-girlfriend raced barrels, so I was in it. But
TJ said he's got a new favorite rider. I don't know if I can call you my favorite rider after hearing this.
Dude, my chick used to barrel race.
Yeah,
barrel racing is badass.
Exactly. Oh. Chicks barrel race.
Okay.
He didn't do it anymore.
Offense, but yeah.
That's why he was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, good question, Faith. Thanks for that. That was awesome. Awesome.
He's so bummed that they came out. He is so bummed. Like we're never getting him back on.
No, Julian, thank you for your time, man. I'm really excited. None of us are going to be at this first round, but we'll be watching from the house.
Can I ask him one quick thing?
Go ahead. Of course.
Percentage pie, excited versus like nervousness.
Oh, shit. There's no nerves.
Yeah, right now we're good.
All right,
10
nice.
excited.
I like to hear that.
Now, when he's rolling down the tunnel and the lights are on and the laser beams and the fireworks
Let's
going
go.
off, that's when the nerves set in.
I've got one more for you. Go ahead.
When you're rolling down the tunnel and the lights turn on and all the fans are out, if you're not a little bit nervous, I don't think that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, even in the stands, the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. Like,
did you ask it, or did you have?
That was it.
That was okay. All right.
Yeah, I've got.
You had one.
How does lining up for Supercross compare to pulling out at the chute at a barrel race?
Stop.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Hey, Juju, our listener, the one who asked that, Dog Lover, what was her Faith?
Faith is her real.
She is going to be at A1. She says, you're welcome. She'll see you there.
Oh, thanks.
Hey,
See you there.
Faith and her dad, man, they're like super fans. They're really awesome. They go to a lot of the rounds, and they know they follow all the riders, and they know a lot about what's going on. So they're cool. She's super super cool. So she'll come say hi.
We don't know where she pulled that from, but they know a lot.
She knows a lot.
Yeah, we can just forget that whole conversation happened.
All right,
Fair enough.
All right. Can't wait to, hey, I got to transcribe this and like make a YouTube video out of this. That's going to be the clip.
Oh, yeah, that's
going to be the clickbait.
Oh, yeah.
Juju barrel race.
Don't get on Vital tomorrow,
No.
Juju.
Yeah, stay off Vital.
I'll be cool. I won't use that. I promise. So, all right.
Perfect. We're
Julian,
good.
good luck this weekend. Thank you for your time. And, man, we're hoping to see big things for you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. See ya.
Move over, AP. There's
Julien
another
Beaumer
cowboy
brought
in
to you.
town.
Yeah, Vegas Racing.
That's the title. That's the
Julien Beaumer is the real cowboy. AP. Julien Beaumer proves AP's a fake.
Yeah.
Sorry, AP. Sorry.
Is that one going on Cooksey Media? What
Yeah,
is this?
that's exactly.
Hey, AP does the mechanical bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it at Dallas.
So
Yeah,
both of them are into
really low speed.
both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them are into like the woman side of
Man.
cowboy.
No, I'm with TJ though. Like I've liked Juju, and like I've liked seeing him. I watched one of the names I watched for, but yeah, that was a good interview. I'm excited to. I think he can be one of the underdogs,
Underwhelming or
surprising.
under the radar.
Yeah. I'm looking for
Yeah, I
him
was about
to
to say,
make a
come on
big
now.
splash,
Yeah,
a big
Dark
splash
side.
like a jet ski.
Dark side.
Yeah, I meant to even say
Says Juju's
let's not
underwhelming.
do jet ski.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
wasn't
have
a jet ski question. It was a jet ski joke.
I got you. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, 23 National Hare and Hound champion Dalton Shurey, and many more, including Supercross and Arena Cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller. Check out eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X-Brand, distributed through WPS. Normally we do the X-Brand forum check-in. We're going to pass on that. We've got Arena Cross talk to do tonight.
Let's go.
Yeah, we got
So is this the X-Brand Arena crosstalk?
we actually
Apparently so, TJ.
might do
Apparently
that,
so.
but
I
we're
think
going to
he
hit a
said-
couple other things first.
I think he said X-Brand tear-offs earlier, and I was like, damn, do we steal their bit?
Did I say it?
Yeah.
Really?
You did.
Oh, you guys should have called it out.
I started
I
to,
didn't-
and
I
I
didn't
just,
notice
you were
it
in the
until
middle
he
of
just said
talking. Yeah, you were in the middle of
X-Brand
talking. I just let it go.
Steal his shit. He's always, man, you know how many times a week now, or even sometimes a day, I get that stupid photo of me using the VP gas at.
Oh,
dude.
love
He
it.
just says it. Out of nowhere, it's just
the
a
welcome
photo.
mat, the welcome. I got to take
Yeah.
a picture of that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
I will say though, there's a lot of times that I listen to something on whatever pulp or whatever show he's might be doing that we had first here.
I
does-
thought you were
it
going to say
does happen.
how obsessed he seems to be with me because he mentions me on every single
It's
show.
funny. It's good. It's
God, he's just obsessed.
it's not about you, man. It's about the
Because-
consumer.
it's because
It's
people-
about the
It's
consumer.
because people like you and they're into the bits.
They don't like him. T-Boat USA, top 5. If
you're
you are
worse.
a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, a KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoatUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Boat USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. T-Boat USA has it all. They even have stuff for those Chinese bikes that you might have bought for Christmas for your grandkid. Those parts are hard to find, but T-Bolt USA will help you find something that will fit. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at tboltusa.com. You're working on a video. You said you shot one, but you weren't super stoked, so might reshoot it. But
Yeah. I even messaged Vince and said, man,
Yeah.
I got the video together. I was going to put it out. I edited it, put it on YouTube. I haven't posted it yet, like made it live. And I was watching it, and I was like, this is not that good. Like, it's just the lighting was off and everything. I showed my wife. She watched a few minutes of it, and she's like, it's fine. And I'm like, okay, you weren't even interested enough to make it through halfway. I was like, this is terrible.
I love Kathy.
Yeah, so she's
funny.
like, yeah, it's not one of your best, and I make some terrible videos. And
yeah,
so,
you do. What's your YouTube again?
a Moto Heads Garage.
All right.
like
so check that out.
the
There'll be
letter
some
A,
T-Bolt
Moto
USA
Heads.
content coming up. T-Bolt USA top 5 this week. I got an email. So I mentioned earlier when we were doing the emails from Michael Jarasco, and he wanted to know my top 5 must-haves for camping at the track. And my number 1, I was like, a hotel? Not much of a camper.
My number
But
1.
I thought, let's make that the top 5 tonight, right? That's not a bad one. We've all went to Lakewood and camped and
Almost all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, almost all
TJ
of
was
us.
there. Part of TJ was there.
Well,
TJ's stuff
TJ
was
gave
there.
us the RV.
That's my number one. Is TJ's RV.
Yeah. Most of mine
too.
Most of mine surrounded showers, a good toilet paper, anything to make me more comfortable where I feel like I'm not actually camping. A good grill, food.
Is this with a camp? Was this? Are we rich and have a camper, or are we just
whatever
I'm not.
you need?
There's no me in a tent anymore. That
Whatever
part of my life
you
is
need
over.
for a good experience to go camping at the races. So why don't you go first?
No, I don't want to go first.
Chase, why don't you go first? Because once again, Scotty's not prepared.
I really like having my mountain bike when I'm there doing something. Because I mean, most places are banning pit bikes at this point. So, Tylenol because my back is destroyed every time I do it. Griddle, like the Blackstones, that's a must-have. A fan. Because if I'm hot at night, I'm not sleeping, and
100%.
I'll just go home.
That might have been on my list, but
yeah. And then a good air mattress because I'm not sleeping on a cot or on the ground anymore.
Yeah,
so.
basically we're not campers.
Yeah, no. I'll go
that's not true.
campering.
Like I would camp in a tent.
Well,
and
yeah,
No, I won't.
See, I'm out.
But
I'm out.
But we
I
did
will.
that going through the mountain. I have no problem with that. But when I go to the races at the track, it's a completely.
I might do it in something like you're talking about, but yeah, I'm not going to the track stand in
No,
a
I'm
tent.
not staying in camp. We've
So
done
what are
that
your top
before.
5 then?
My top 5 are. It was some of the stuff is like you don't want to forget like chairs. Like you know what I mean. Like
I'm
you
bad about
gotta
that.
you gotta have chairs. I want a heater if it's cold, AC if it's hot. You know what I mean? Like
That's on my. That would have been on mine.
yeah, exactly. A comfortable bed, like you said. It can be a cot. I'm okay with the cot. It just can't be.
It's got to be a good one.
Yeah. Hot dogs because you got to have energy for the deal.
Slim
Tube
Jims.
steaks.
I mean, aren't hot dogs? I mean, aren't Slim Jims just
I
like,
always-
like
we-
Kinda.
dehydrated hot dogs?
Kinda. Yeah.
Overcooked. Well done hot dogs.
Yeah. They're like
Greasy
freeze-dried
hot dogs.
and then an RV because I'm not going to the races
Yeah,
to camp without an RV.
After having TJ's at Thunder Valley.
Yeah. Scotty, did you put your list together as
I
these
had 'em in
guys
my
gave
head.
you ideas?
I had them in my head already. I just forgot to write them all down.
All right.
I'm gonna do I'm with Chase on either like a good barbecue or flat top grill, and like I'm not doing hot dogs. I'm gonna actually cook like real food. Like
Bougie.
we went to a cross country race last year, and I made stir fry. Like it was amazing.
Hell yeah.
It's not that hard to cook.
No, it's
Like,
not. It's really not. Like those burgers we made at
Yeah.
Lakewood was slapped. Yeah, like those were so good. And also another thing is like a variety of clothes. Like because a lot of times,
That's why I looked at you.
a lot of times at the races, like sometimes it's gonna be cold in the morning, hot during the day, or like I always like I would rather not use like a pair of underwear or like socks or like have extra socks. Like your socks get muddy, you step in a mud hole, extra shoes. I always like to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because I don't want to sit there and be like wearing wet, muddy socks or jeans like the whole weekend. So
I pack like I'm going to shit my pants twice a day.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of what I was getting at.
Fair enough.
I like doing like a pressure washer and like a water tank, like a generator that you can have a pressure washer.
I will mention that as we're saying this, I remember this guy saying like to pack light, like kind of is what he said. So
Well,
like,
is he
basically-
backpacking in the
I don't
mountains
know,
or
but
is he
no,
going to
I think he was just trying to keep
weekend?
it. But I agree with your ideas. That might be a little more than what he wanted, but for me, this is our list. But
If I got to pack light, I'm not going.
I don't know, just so other people knew what he was looking for.
Yeah, if I got to pack light, I'm not going.
And I'm not trying to butt over what you're saying, but since you brought that up, man, moto has changed. I remember we used to show up with the bikes in the back of the truck. There were no RVs.
That's what I
at the
did when I
track.
was growing up.
And there was like you slept
In a
with the
tent?
tent in the back of the truck.
Yeah,
That was nice.
I mean, I sleep in my van, but
And now you
And
now
that's
you-
about like
yeah.
a tent in the back of a truck. I've seen your van.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
Well, RVs are they're more expensive. I mean, they're more accommodatable and more affordable
But
now.
the point I'm
so.
just trying to make is like, wow, we may be part of the problem of why moto's so
we're definitely
expensive.
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Okay,
There-
Yeah, more.
well, I've done. You haven't finished my top 5.
It's taking you forever.
Well, no, because that was y'all talking for 2 minutes. Another one is like if I'm preparing for like a pro challenge or big race, like spare parts. Like if you have spare parts, if you have a spare air filter, if you have a backup foot peg or pipe or whatever you can like put in a box, bring it, because like you never know what's going to happen. You don't want to be 4 hours away and then something breaks on your bike and you're like, I have that in the garage. You know,
That
like
has nothing to do with camping. That just has to do with going racing.
Well, camping at the track.
What are we talking
If
about
I just
here?
show up Saturday morning for a race, I still need that shit. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with camping.
I guess.
Then I guess I don't understand the question because that's like I'm like.
What do you need if you're spending the night?
What are your five?
You need your parts if you're
camping
racing.
essentials?
Why are you so
Is
mad
it,
about
I thought
this?
this
don't
was what
know.
we're talking about going to a
Why are you
race.
so
If
mad,
you're
Jamie?
camping,
At
you
a
need
race.
certain things.
At a race.
But okay. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. If I'm being an asshole or Scotty's an idiot.
Okay, so then if not, then it's going to be the same thing as him. Food, clothes, bed,
Good blankets.
good
Yeah, this
lights.
dude was just trying to
okay.
get-
That's what he wanted
All
to
right,
know.
cool.
We
That's
need a
boring. We
Twitter
all had
poll
the
for
four.
this.
We have all four of the same questions.
Yep.
The same answers.
Okay, MotoXpodshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, I know
Dark
you're gonna
Side's
do
an
a fake now.
asshole or
Yeah.
Scotty's
Whoever
an
sent
idiot?
that question is
Or
you
both.
pissed Scotty off, and it's your fault.
It's not my fault. No, it's his interpretation of it.
I don't think the guy asked, what do you need if you go racing? What are your top 5 things to take
Read
racing?
the question. Can you please read the
I'll have to-
question?
It's camping, bro. I can,
At the races.
but he wants to know about camping.
I love
At the races.
Dude,
Let's do it. Mom and Dad start fighting.
If I
we can,
like
we
when
can,
I if
we
I
can
go
get them on the
camping,
card for Redneck Brawl, I bet.
if I go camping at a state park versus a track is two completely
What are your
different
top
things.
5 must-haves or favorite moto camping items?
Moto camping items? Yes, that's what I want. And when I'm staying
Anything
alone,
that makes
think either
packing
one of them is
easier
wrong.
or the camp life
They're
in
both
between
right. It's
riding
okay.
easier, better, sincerely. He's talking about camping.
Hey,
in between,
Jake,
like-
can we move on?
in
Yeah, we
between
need to.
in between riding, I like washing my
Okay,
bike and
hey,
everything
keep
and
on.
eating
Wait,
good. So
hey.
like,
Scotty, can we move on?
yeah,
Jericho
Yeah,
just
I'm
said
good.
you need to get your shit together.
Jericho did.
Jericho said you need to get your shit together.
I'm the one that made the most sense out of this whole thing.
Apparently he
You're
doesn't
not
think so.
wrong. I just don't care enough to hear y'all yell
Yeah.
about it.
All right.
I'm having a good time.
T-Bolt, USA.
He
yeah,
he
that's
said
it. T-Bone
camping and
USA
y'all
top
said
fives.
RVs. So like that's not camping, it's glamping.
Yeah, still camping.
Still camping.
All right, we're gonna skip. We're gonna Barnett clutches pick one this week.
I thought we were talking about arena cross. What
Ricky
happened to that?
Johnson versus Wardy. We're getting to it. We're gonna do that in the FXR Arena Cross recap. That's the next one, bro. Hang tight. Know your role.
I'm trying to. I was trying to. You've been bouncing all over the little advert
With
down at the
75.
bottom.
Well, we got out. Yeah, we got out of order with the longer guest. Are you coughing into my mic?
Loose program.
With
Yeah,
75
2025 is
years
gonna
of
be
experience
great,
behind
man.
them, Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials exclusive to Barnett for maximum performance and durability. Get 10% off with promo code VitalMX. That's all caps at barnettclutches.com and feel the Barnett difference. I'm going to need a clutch pretty soon. I will be hitting Barnett up. Please use that promo code VitalMX. Let them know you're listening. Yeah, we're going to do the pick one next week, RJ versus Wardy. So we'll save that. Let's get into the FXR Arena Cross rounds 5 and 6 recap. FXR is designed by racers for racers with the industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by the Muck-Off FXR Club Next Yamaha team. Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, and many more. FXR's core motor roots. Visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership to see the complete 25 line, including the Helium and Revo.
Mother.
Scotty's got to be wound up.
We're falling apart here.
FXR Arena Cross rounds 5 and 6 from Loveland, Colorado. TJ, you were there. Let's start with the track. I loved the center being in the start. It just made the different,
center being in the
or the start being in the center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think that really opened it. It changed the dynamic. They were able to put that big roller in the corner.
Yeah.
After the finish line, I liked it. I think it tightened up that first turn. We saw some action in that first turn.
Yep.
Love that.
So something you couldn't see. Can I speak up this first turn?
Yep.
Okay. Something that a lot of people didn't see. If you were like the left two gates.
Yep.
At the very end of the turn, you were in the berm of
some dudes went over that.
Yeah,
a couple of them.
That's what caught Breeze because he got up on the front and then let it back down, and then when he got back on the front, like front brake again to not hit freeze, he went over that and it tucked.
And so it was a very interesting track. The finish line was we stepped it off just to the peak, like to make it over without a back wheel case or something like that was 60 foot. 65 foot, and then it wasn't even just the what do you call it, that right in front of it, that little double, which looked like nothing. After the race being there and then watching it on TV or on the streaming, it is a completely different track. Watching it, it was, And so if anybody follows me on Instagram, I did videos walking. I even walked out on the track when I wasn't supposed to be, and videoed.
Ours too.
Yeah, there was like you stand in these chug holes over that double. It was sketch. The whoops were overwatered the first night, and the second night they did really good with the prep. I know you said it looked dry. That was way better than the wet it was before.
Well, I think it might have looked a little dry, but I know how that dirt is up there, so it looks dry, but it's kind of greasy, I'm sure.
All right, so here's what we got after rounds 5 and 6. Vince Friese is still in the lead. Michael Hicks has moved up, tightened it up a little bit. He's 183 to 167 in points. This championship, as we talked after the last round, it's going to get tighter, I think. The guys are starting to go after Vince. We talked about with Austin Politelli last week that it really is going to take somebody getting aggressive with him in order to kind of knock him off his game, gain some points. And I mentioned that we felt like Michael Hicks might not be the guy because he's even kind of said in some interviews that basically I'm kind of comfortable with being second, but he changed that in round 6. He went after Vince. Vince hit him in the clash in night 2, and it's not even for points, and they're battling like it's the championship final. That thing, cutting each other off, block passing, and doing arena cross the way we love it.
It's for $20s of dollars.
But
that pays out good.
I know. I'm just making jokes.
Vince, got a little heated with. It seemed to get a little heated with Michael Hicks in that clash on night 2. Ran him off the track before the finish line. Michael jumped back on, which I don't think he should have done there. He came off the track, back on the track, kind of drifted left over to the catapult.
Pushed Brees and Friese together.
Then Vince Friese drifts from center to left and almost kills Ryan Brees. A lot of action Friday, Saturday night at this rounds. But what I'm seeing is Michael Hicks, Austin Politelli, and even his teammate Ryan Brees are starting to get more aggressive with Vince. And I think this thing is going to come down to the finals. I don't really feel like Vince is just going to run away with this thing anymore. I think those guys have decided it's time. There's definitely tension within MCR between Vince and Ryan. So I think we're going to see a lot more aggressiveness. You were there, TJ. What are your thoughts?
I got to talk to Hicks after the race.
I think he's going to be on the show next week, possibly.
Sweet.
We tried to get him tonight, but he's flying.
We talked to him, and
Germany.
It wasn't like I was interviewing. We were just talking around, and he was really stoked to get the clash and the main win. I think that win of the clash is what pushed him to push hard to win.
That would have been night 1.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know what I mean? To win the main event. And then after that, once he's done that, he's like, okay, I can do this. Like, it seemed like there was a shift in him this weekend that I saw. And then
that's good for the series.
It's really good for the series. And then I know a lot of people are saying that Vince was upset. He wasn't. They like fist bumped afterwards. You know what I'm talking about? And then you're talking about after the main night 2, which we haven't really talked about that the second main, but yeah. Yeah, and so they and Vince is saying, hey, it was a little bit cocky, but he said, hey, this is what they're going to have to do to beat me.
Yeah, he did say that on TV too. Yeah. You're right about that. I did hear one of the mechanics I know that work in the series a little bit, and a couple guys I know say that MCR did have. They wanted AMA Arena Cross to look at that last corner or second to last corner pass in the final main event of the weekend, where Michael Hicks made a run through the whoops, the rhythm section, and kind of somewhat jumped over the tough block, and then dove inside of Vince. Vince went down. He tried to get back up because he tried to cut under, and he went down.
Just caught his front tire.
Yeah. And then Michael Hicks went on to win. But then apparently MCR was having AMA Arena Cross look at that pass where he jumped over the tough block a little bit. And I kind of wonder, Vince did the same thing to Kyle Bitterman, I believe, at Reno. And it's almost like,
it just
with some of the things I'm hearing about Vince and MCR behind the scenes, it feels like there might be a little bit of, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I'm the guy. Entitlement. I don't know if that's the case, but
I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, why not?
Because Vince is
he
the guy.
He should think that, yeah.
Okay.
He is the guy.
But he shouldn't. the rules have to apply to everybody.
Well, I'm just saying. No, I mean, in that situation, he even said, "Hey, we got caught up in the lappers. I lost track of him. Like, you know how when you're racing.
Yeah.
He said I lost track of him, and I didn't realize he was right there.
Sure.
He said that's on me. Basically saying if I'd have known he'd have been there, I'd have gone into the corner different. I thought it was one of the lappers I was going by. So I don't think he's upset. I think that's actually a good sign because that means that he's willing to dish it out and take it.
It'll still be in the back of his mind. That doesn't change anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about it coming down to the final rounds.
I hope.
I think it will too because people are getting pissed off at Freeze. Somebody's going to end up putting him down, and then he's going to lose 4 or 5 spots, maybe loses some points, tightens everything up.
Isn't that what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't lose a whole lot, but
I know, but it had to tighten up a
that's
little
what
bit.
I'm saying. Like, I mean, when you ride like that, you got to look over your shoulder, and it eventually catches up to you. Like,
did you have something to say? Oh,
No,
okay.
I I do, but go
Friday
ahead.
night at round 5, Politelli pushed Freeze wide too. So those guys are starting, like, as we've talked, they're getting more aggressive. We're seeing some actual arena cross racing, the way we kind of define arena cross. We're starting to see that from these other guys. And Vince is taking that part of it well. He's like, hey, man, these guys are looking for ways to beat me. They need to find ways to beat me. And I like it. I wonder if he'll mentally start riding any different, though, if consistently guys are doing that to him, knocking him off the track, if it changes anything. What were you thinking there, Scotty?
I was gonna, since TJ was there, I was gonna ask when that Hicks pass thing happened, there was I know it probably just got knocked on the way, but there was a random tough block and the whoops. Was that causing, was there a weird line that was kind of running the edge? Was there a possibility of anybody cutting the track?
It didn't seem like that.
It just kind of just happened. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tough blocks.
I saw that and it just looked, it optically just looked
I
weird.
will
It just
say,
threw me off.
it would be really hard to explain it to you, but coming through that rhythm section where Vince went down after that, the corner ended at the end of the berm. I don't know how. I mean, obviously we're on radio. It was like the right side of the berm, like the exit of the berm was at the tough blocks. It was really weird how they set the track up.
It was almost like a berm and then a flat corner after it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. I should have took some pictures.
We should have had a diagram.
Yeah, I make a diagram.
That would help.
99.2 the pod radio.
But this series, I mean, look, Michael Hicks is the first rider to beat Vince Freeze all year, straight up, and that confidence is going to grow. He knows he can be aggressive. He was aggressive earlier in the night, and Vince gave it back to him a little bit. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing is a lot more aggression. I think maybe Ryan Brees, who we've kind of said, maybe he won't do that because they're on the same team. I think that mentality might be getting ready to shift.
If they weren't on the same team, I think he would have already done it.
Oh, for sure.
But
I know Ryan well enough to know he can get a little hot-headed, as a lot of racers can, and he might get to a point where he's like, I don't care about this teammate bull crap. I understand that Tony Alessi and Mike Genova and Vince are very tight, but Ryan Brees may say to himself, I'm here to win this damn thing, and there's only going to be one way to win it.
You're part of the team,
going to have to be aggressive because when you're not aggressive, you end up going down and you have bad races and you lose points. But when you stay aggressive and you go after them, that's what it's going to take.
TJ, pull up the points.
He's got them up.
I've got them up right now.
So, I have them. Well, I guess you want people to see them, but
I mean, if you look at there, he is what is that? Like 15 points,
16
points behind. I mean, that's doable.
And Brees is only 17 behind, right?
Yeah, 1 point behind Hicks. Yeah.
There's 3 events left or before Daytona, so that
6 total races,
total
3 weekends. Yeah. So we're halfway right now, and the points aren't that far out.
Yeah, there's plenty of time,
especially if you have Michael Hicks, Ryan Brees, and Austin Politelli all willing to be aggressive with Vince together. All those guys. It's not just one guy. It's becoming the whole field.
And Politelli, basically got no points at one round because of bike issues.
The first round, yeah.
And so he's 20 points outside of third, basically.
Yeah, when you look at the points, it looks like Austin's off the pace, but he's not.
Yeah. I got to visit with him and his dad quite a bit this week, and he's fired up. Like, he's going to be pushing to get up onto the podium for the end of the season, and he's not taking any prisoners, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, I do think we see fireworks within MCR Honda before Daytona. Within the next 2 rounds, we're going to see some fireworks. We might see some fireworks this weekend at Monster Energy Supercross because both those guys will be there.
I know we already talked about it, but that what is it? That moment where they were all 3 rolling over the jump and then cross jumping that we talked about earlier. Like that was
the second to last lap.
Yeah, that was wild. I was like, whoa! Watching it was insane.
And honestly, I put that on Michael Hicks. He should not have re-entered the track and tried to.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't try to jump the finish, but I think at first he was thinking about it.
He was,
and then he was, I better not.
Yeah,
and
that's not a normal finish line.
That
jump.
really caused Vince to do the cross jump. Like we talk about Vince cross jumping all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think that one was intentional.
I'm just saying that's now that that's happened, and even though there's just still a bit of a points gap, but it's a little bit tighter now. Like that kind of stuff is going to start happening more often, and I'm excited to see it.
I have a real question about Arena Cross itself. Do we feel like this is the second year of this AMA Arena Cross being back? Do we see I see a big increase? Do y'all agree with that?
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of
the
when it was the road to Supercross with the Ricky Carmichael back in the day.
The series is growing.
Yeah.
It seems to get getting stronger. They got a good payout. They have amazing battles. I think
it's a good series.
It's good for the sport. It's awesome for the sport.
Last year when it first started, I think it was last year when they went to the AMA for the first time, and it was like, okay, great, whatever. But wow, I can't believe the show they're putting on. If you go there, it feels like a Supercross. The way they do the beginning of the night show. They've got a really good program, so I'm really excited about this and even next year. Like when you have this kind of fireworks and this kind of promotion going, who knows who will fall into it next year to come battle.
Yeah, like last year I was kind of expecting more of the same as it'd been the last few years, and then start seeing highlights and stuff. And now this season, it's awesome, dude.
It's a bummer not having Kyle Peters there. That official announcement came out last week. Out, going to have neck surgery. Hopefully be back, as soon as he can. He's not done racing, according to him. But, it's a bummer not having him there. Another thing I just got to bring up, MCR, Tony, if you're listening, Mike Genovi, if you're listening, I'm sure you are.
Always.
Dude, your riders got to take their damn helmets off for their interviews. That whole thing you guys are doing sucks for the sport, sucks for the fans. It's disrespectful to Kristen Banks. Take the damn helmets off.
Brees did. Brees took his helmet off and ran to go get his hat.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to. Apparently there's a team thing where they want the helmets on for sponsorships, is what I heard.
I did not know this.
But take them off.
I don't think it's disrespectful.
Everything I saw of Vince, he had his helmet off.
No, all the interviews had helmets on. You can't hear him because
you got to pull
she's having to stick the mic under the helmet.
When that one
turn
kid,
her ear so she can hopefully hear.
Oh, that must be right after the race.
Yeah, after each moto or whatever you want to call it, heat race. Main.
About to say, because when that one kid had some choice words for Vince over on the podium, he was definitely not wearing a helmet.
I think Galdi said on TV that somebody said a letter's been written. I think they're addressing it. But I felt like when I saw Ryan Brees run to go get his hat that he was like, F this. He's kind of fed up with the team.
Yeah,
I'm making all the shit up. I haven't talked to Ryan. But it's the vibe.
It's going to come in hot on the Arena Cross broadcast.
I got a feeling Brees isn't there next year.
Yeah, I get
not because he's not doing well, but I don't think he's. Yeah,
it's an interesting dynamic.
That whole team's always been that way. It's I don't know, man.
But AMA Arena Cross is getting hot, man.
You're not going to bring up the top news that we have about the Arena Cross?
Kyle Peters?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, well, I have the banner up, so we're good.
Yeah.
We just talked
about I guess I just missed that. I'm doing a couple of things at once. I don't feel like we're really talking about it.
We were so professional until this. Move it on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Okay. I missed it.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about it.
It didn't seem like very long.
It was long enough to mention it.
This was like breaking news last week.
Well,
I become the adult in the group.
Either way,
you are.
AMA Arena Cross, catch the damn fever. It's good. Fireworks are happening. It's gonna get ugly before it's over. I feel that. So
Which is good for the sport.
Yeah, ugly is great for us. Ugly for them, great for us.
Yeah.
We all need to go to Daytona. The last round.
You buying?
I think there's another
No,
race.
I don't know if I'm buying for myself.
I forget where they're racing. I feel like I'm at a different race that weekend.
No, it's a
Daytona's
Supercross.
It's not the same weekend as Daytona Supercross.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's the Friday.
It's the Friday before.
I thought it was like the week before.
No,
the
it's
Daytona
Friday
race.
before.
Okay, all right. I swear I looked at the schedule and they didn't match up. Talk for a second.
Pull them up. Pull it up,
yeah,
TJ.
so-
Pull it up.
We'll
Load
pull-
the RV. Let's go.
Yeah, we're grabbing the RV. We're gonna load it up. But they, unfortunately, like, can another series like if without Vince would it have been this? You know what I mean? Like, do we need?
There'd be more winners, and it'd be back and
you're right.
forth. Points would be close, you know. But
Say that again.
I'm wrong. You're right.
Yep, I'm right. Not Scotty.
Yeah, no, I wasn't right, but I just like hearing him say that.
yeah, like I mean, it would be exciting from a different point of view because you'd have. I mean, look at the points for 2, 3, and 4. It'd be really close. It'd be good racing, but
Tony's
there wouldn't be
crew
the
being
fireworks.
there
Yeah,
brings a lot of eyes.
it turns it almost into a soap opera.
And
Well,
he's
but it has.
It's not as
a
bad
little
as
bit,
it's been.
a little bit legitimized
yes.
the series.
That's what I'm saying.
More than
That's
it was
fair.
before.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And
fair to say.
And in the pits, like you see Tony walk around, he's taking it seriously. This is what they're doing and dedicated to it. I hope MCR can spend a couple years in this series.
And like Danny Stewart, who is doing a lot of their PR stuff, and he's kind of on top of a lot of the stuff. And he's making sure I get drop boxes and links for photos, and he's checking in. Hey, is there anything you need content wise? They are really making a push, and we see when you watch their Inside Arena Cross videos, a lot of the media guys are involved with that.
Yeah.
Pulp's on that. I think they use Cooksey, they use Swap. Yeah. They're making this thing legit, and if you're not watching it, you're missing out.
Well, even what's his name, the cross country racer, real tall dude. He's been on the show before.
I don't know which one you're
He
talking
lives
about.
out that way. Woods?
Carson Wood?
No, I don't remember his name.
Okay.
Dadgum, my brain just pulled a blank.
Either
on
way.
it. He came out because he's like yeah, it was close to the house. He lives out that direction, so he was like, I want to come out and watch. And
nice.
And they did an interview with him. He's a Red Bull rider. I don't remember who it is now. But
Cody Webb.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cody Webb.
That's
wow,
it.
geez, you're okay.
Yeah, well, I said Wood, but yeah, Cody Webb.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going at, but I was.
But he came out to watch.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Cody's
and
cool.
so it's bringing people to the sport, which is
Love
awesome.
it. All right, we're going to close the show out with EVS picks for Anaheim 1. Again, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. You guys have time to get your picks in for the 450 podium by sending us an email, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. Next week, we'll do picks for San Diego, obviously. You guys get those in. You can contribute any of your thoughts or whatever on the content. We're going to do Barnett Clutch's pick one. Ricky Johnson versus Jeff Ward next week. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I've gotten a few emails for that. Top 5. We came up with a top 5 for next week.
I did.
I had wrote down top 5 moments of A1, but you texted one that was a little better.
Oh, yeah, I said basically top 5 things that didn't happen you thought would.
At A1.
At A1.
So if you want to send your list in after the race of 5 things that you were kind of expecting to happen that just didn't happen, send those in.
At this one A1?
A1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do all that next week.
The race.
You're the one that doesn't like Supercross. What are you talking
exactly.
I love watching it at home.
Yeah, he doesn't like riding. He doesn't like riding with his
going
friends.
to it.
Over the
riding with his
past
friends.
39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today. Actually, I'm going to update this. It is 40 years. They just put out a press release that for their 40th anniversary, EVS has a lot of their most popular products are available in their bright red. There's a term, I forget what they call in their red, but to
commemorate
40 years of EVS. Some badass stuff coming from EVS, some really cool colors. Their knee braces, the TP199 knee guards are in that red.
You were like 14 when it came out, when EVS started.
Okay. Think I was 9, but
Close.
Gross. I just spit on the table. That's gross.
I was still swimming.
I think my dad was about your age when they came out.
Over the past 40 years, EVS Sports has established itself as a leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. you can check out evs-sports.com. Use the code VitalMX30, all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. Check out their new line with this red color. It looks really cool. 40 years of some of the best protection equipment on the market. Most of you guys are probably wearing some kind of chest protector or knee protection. Hit up EVS-Sports and upgrade today if you're not already using EVS. EVS picks for A1. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Scotty.
I'm going to say Sexton.
Okay.
Jet.
Okay.
Tomac.
E.T. Next.
Let's go Jet, Webb, Sexton.
Jet, Sexton, Webb. And then, Tomac will be right there.
I think Webb's confident, man.
I said it last week. I'm sticking with it. Eli Tomac for the win. Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton. That's my top three.
We all picked the same, three. The only
you're saying that. Hold on one second. You're saying that. Are you saying that he's just going to straight up beat him, or that Jet goes down?
No, he's going to straight up beat him. ET's coming out to prove some shit in 2025.
Wow.
Final year, I'm going to go out the man.
I'm saying that Sexton's going to do that, and I think ET will be right there behind him.
I think Sexton has the best chance.
Okay. He's definitely got the raw speed.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to find out.
I do. It is kind of weird for me though to put, because I feel like either Jet is like first or fifth, or first or fourth. It's hard to put him in second. I don't think you just.
It's hard to put him in second because he's going to be in first.
Yeah, it's hard to put him in second because if he's not.
But I want Sexton.
I mentioned the.
I knew that's what everybody's going to pick, so I'm being different.
I mentioned the photo of me pouring gas. Just got it from the group text.
What is the deal with that?
So we're at Glen Helen for Bet Nationals, and I got in Friday to Kiefer's house, and I didn't go to the track, and I was doing some work around Kiefer's working, and I forgot to go get fuel. So Saturday morning, we're all loading up to go to the track. I'm like, shit, I don't have any fuel. Can we stop the gas at the state gas station? We're stopping at Starbucks. Can I get some gas? And Chris is like, doing his thing, and he's all like, no, man, we're not stopping. Just use some of mine. We got plenty. We got VP, blah, blah, blah. So then we get to the track. I do a couple of practices or motos. I need some fuel. I grab the VP, and I start dumping it in. I get done, and all those fuckers are filming me and videoing me pouring fuel in, and it turns into the thing, Dark Side, just stealing fuel, using fuel, doesn't bring any of shit. And Steve took a picture of me where I looked up because they said something.
Huh?
And went, huh? And that's what the picture looks like. I look like an idiot.
I've seen it. I just didn't know what it was.
And that's the thing. Yeah, it's literally, I don't know if you know this. Steve sent me a shot mat with that photo for Christmas.
That's amazing.
It's a huge shot mat.
I want to see it.
Yeah, because it's so funny.
We've been thinking about what to do over the black. Over
like
here,
$300 or $400. I don't know what it would cost to make a shot mat like that.
That's not fun.
We've also been getting
stupid. It is dumb.
No, it's funny.
They're dumb.
We've also been getting a lot of comments tonight about your hair. You got like a mohawk thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got like a
gamer kid thing going there. So
sweet.
I can't talk about hair, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, at least I have hair.
Yep, exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what Scotty said he was going to say.
Yeah. Someone wanted me to say something, and I was like, I can't because he has loaded ammo on me. So, but I did, and here we are.
And there we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, a good show tonight. I think a lot of fun. Next week, I think Michael Hicks will be on. Ken Roxon is tentative. I was trying to get him for this show. He couldn't do it this week for a particular reason, but I reached back out to Courtney, so maybe Ken Roxon and Michael Hicks next week. We'll see how things go. Other than that, I want to thank all our title sponsors, Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA, as well as X-Brand Goggles, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, T-Boat USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, EVS Picks, FXR, Pro X. As a matter of fact, I suck. I skipped the ETS read. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com. If you're looking for race fuel, ETSRacingFuels.com is your choice. They are now also partnered with Factory HRC Honda. They are the best on the market. Man, it's Good stuff. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Check them out. Thank you, Julien Beaumer. Thank you, Sean Brennen. Guys, anything else before we close this thing out?
Nope.
Let's go A1, baby.
Tune in to Press Day on VitalMX.com.
All right, we're out. See you next week.